Something new, fam. From now on, the first thing out of my mouth is smooth thinking about you, fam. And prayers with you on every hour. I want the good Lord to keep you around with us as long as possible. Smooth hanging there, man. And if you get a chance, like, call on in here. I'm looking for you. Shout out for Smooth. Niner! By the way, Rudy, ringless Santa Clara means nothing but to those who support mediocre franchises who have but 2 rings in 70 years. The 49ers have plenty of rings. It doesn't matter where they live. You're not in St. Louis anymore. Let's give you 1 ring. Stop with that stupid rhetoric. Meanwhile, back on the ranch. Fam, adequate O-line? Question mark. Fam, the poor ranking of the 49ers offensive line, it's overstated. It really might be. Oh, and an Aiyuk trade for Devonte? Oh! See, some of these things coming off the line are like, really? Let me detail it and get on the phone and air your opinion on this. But, fam, you know what? Here's the thing. No matter how much criticism is thrown upon the 49ers offensive line, it can't be ignored that the team actually had one of the best offensive attacks, if not the best, last season, 2023-24. It did. With just a little bit of luck, they would have won the Super Bowl. You get Ray McCloud not to realize he can't scoop a damn thing. Just fall on the ball, Ray. You know, he wouldn't do it. I'm going to scoop this, and I'm going to run all the way back for a touchdown, you guys. And what if Chris McCaffrey gets into the end zone in that first play of the game? These had nothing to do with the offensive line. They did at some point, but not really. They contributed, yes, but not completely. Because that overtime loss by 3 points to Kansas City indicates they weren't overmatched by any stretch of the imagination. Suspect offensive line and all. Meanwhile, as the Niners continue to not be intimidated by a disgruntled Brandon Aiyuk, of whom is seeking a pay raise with just days to go before training camp, all kinds of trades by fans and media are just rolling. BA, we love you though, man. You know what? We know you go sign. Come on, man. We just having fun. All right. What intriguing deal out there brings Devonte Adams from Vegas to San Francisco. Go on to the phones tonight. If you haven't heard about that, I'll outline it to you. Boy, it is sexy. But we're going to the phones tonight to question how the 49ers managed to average 30 points a game with a bad offensive line. Well, we'd have 50 points in that offensive line. I know, but still. Also a deal for disgruntled Aiyuk for an even more unhappy Devonte Adams. Question mark? Fam, who said invest in guys who score TDs? We'll find an offensive line later. Who said that? Remember that? This is a couple months ago. Maybe 3, 4. Anyway, Jeremy Fowler continues to release his position-by-position top 10 rankings for ESPN, with the latest focusing on interior offensive linemen. Now, Fowler compiled his list after surveying nearly 80 execs, coaches, and scouts. And yep, his latest ranking trashes one of the Niners' biggest offensive weaknesses. Up to this point, the Niners have been represented in each ranking that Fowler has done. Running backs, defensive backs, edge rushers. Some are probably the top 2 or 3. I don't remember what he said about that. Tight ends, nothing but high marks, though. Every position. The 49ers are stacked and loaded for, we're ready. We're ready. But the interior O-lineman list is the first of this year's rankings without a 49ers player other than not named Trent Williams. The interior O-lineman, every Niners O-lineman not named Trent Williams was missed, even on the honorable mentions list. 49ers couldn't even get a guy on the honorable mention list, which I think Fowler, some of the people you talk to, I don't know. There were some other teams that had some pretty bad offensive line, but of course, Trent Williams will no doubt be among Fowler's top offensive tackles, but the rest of the offensive line is viewed as a weakness, a problem, holding the 49ers back, one which analysts feel wasn't sufficiently addressed this offseason. Niners drafted 2 offensive linemen, Dominic Pooney and Jarrett Kingston, but those additions came in the 3rd and 6th round. You know what I'm saying? Here's the thing, fam. I just want to. All right, the 49ers used a 3rd round pick on Dominic Pooney this year, and that represented departure from the recent trends. 49ers usually don't give a damn about the offensive line. We go to the draft, we get everything but an offensive lineman. If we do, we get him in round 12. Pooney is the only 3rd offensive lineman drafted in the first 3 rounds. They also included a 3rd round pick in a trade for tackle Trent Williams. That was a while back, since general manager John Lynch and Coach Shanahan joined the team in 2017. One might think, we might think, everybody might think that the coach in charge of the unit might prefer more investment up front. But Coach Chris Forrester said otherwise. Yeah, Forrester said those choices are made by Lynch and Shanahan, and his advice to them would be to continue focusing on other areas early in the draft. Invest in guys that can touch the ball, guys that can touch the ball and score touchdowns. And then there's a range of guys, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, 5th round even, that we feel we can find starting offensive linemen. Chris, man, you used to do a lot of go fast, didn't you? Yeah, I heard about that. I saw that video that Tony was talking about. Boy, you was the party, wasn't you? What are you talking about? Chris, stop encouraging him. Forrester goes on to say, at some point you can draft him. Yeah, you draft Trent Williams. You pick a draft where you're getting a difference maker. But there's guys that can make a difference that touch the ball well into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th rounds, or 2nd and 3rd rounds at least. And definitely in the 1st round. That guy that touched the ball makes a huge difference in the game. Chris, I agree. But he goes on to say that right guard makes a difference. We've talked about it before, but that's where we're able to find 4th and 5th round picks. Actually, Chris is not all the way wrong. You don't pick up an offensive lineman normally in the 1st or 2nd round unless he's really exceptional and you're looking for a left tackle type, right? Because the 49ers have now proven they're capable of developing and holding on to linemen in recent years, and they have Williams, Aaron Banks. I continue to defend Aaron Banks. He had a toe problem last year. He was better than that the year before last. I'm not going to condemn him. Jake Brendel, he needs to gain some weight. But otherwise, Jake Brendel's not terrible. John Feliciano, Colton McKivitz, I know. I can't defend him, but you know what? Is Pooney going to help us, fam? These are the things. Because according to PFF, John Feliciano was San Francisco's highest graded interior offensive lineman, earning an 81.2 mark for his regular season play last season. Jake Brindle, 63.9. That won't cut it. Aaron Banks, 54.9. Bad toe. Spencer Burford, I don't know what the hell happened to him. Spencer Burford fell down from the year before last, 50.4. Average to below. All these guys. There's a need for improvement. We don't understand that. Brindle's overall grade jumped, though, to 71.2 in the playoffs. I can't get mad at him for that, right? But either Banks, 48.9 for Banks in the playoffs, and Burford, 54.6. That's just awful. And that's when we needed him the most. With Banks allowing a team-high 13 pressures in the postseason. That's not him. That's not normally him. San Francisco needs better offensive line play in 2024. And the only significant addition, as I mentioned, was Pooney. Then he'll make us... Fam, do you think he'll make a significant difference in his first year? I don't know, fam. I don't have these lofty expectations for offensive linemen anymore. The Niners will enter the 2024 season with the same offensive line from the 2023 campaign. However, fam, the fact of the matter remains. That same sorry unit was good enough to help Christian McCaffrey lead the NFL with 1,459 rushing yards, earning him an Offensive Player of the Year award. That same group was also good enough to protect quarterback Brock Purdy, who set a single-season franchise record, 4,280 passing yards. Yet we talk badly about that offensive line. Sometimes I look at these numbers and I say, okay, maybe Forrester's right. Think about that for a minute. I want to get your feedback on that. Brandon Aiyuk contends the 49ers want him, their star wide receiver, on the cheap. He's not trying to hear that, as you know. Fam, did you hear about the new New York Knicks star Jalen Brunson? I mentioned him to connect the dot here. During his contract extension talks, Brunson intentionally left more than $100 million on the table. Why? So the Knicks can keep their roster together. You talk about being a team player. I don't know how many people have you heard about in the NFL that do that? Brady's the only guy I know about. $100 million. Jalen said, listen, I just want to get back to the playoffs and continue where we left off. I don't want to see any of my guys leaving. What do we have to do to keep them? That's special, isn't it? Good on you, Jalen. I swear to God, I'm a Knicks fan next year just for that. Go Knicks. As Stephen A. says, the sky is blue and gold. It's not far from the 49ers colors, actually. Currently, Aiyuk is the 71st highest paid receiver in the NFL. What does that mean? The league has 32 teams. On average, every team is paying 2 receivers more than Aiyuk is slated to receive in 2024. Even though Aiyuk is the second-team All-Pro receiver, he is deserving of a pay raise. Nobody said anything about that. Nobody disagrees. He needs to get paid more than $14 million. Yes. His agent has negotiated with the Niners on a contract extension. Neither side has agreed on a sticker price. How many days before camp? Maybe, 9? 8, 9, 10? Somewhere in there? Here's the question, fam. What if they can't reach an agreement? What if BA becomes a distraction and disrupts team chemistry to force a trade? That is also the case. There's no way around it. The Niners are contending for the title. They don't have time for this. And everybody needs to be all in. Not in Jerry Jones and the Cowboys fashion. We need to be serious about it. And so some of us, other than Big Show, would like to see that the pain go away. And a couple of aspirin and drink a glass of water and go to bed and call me in the morning ain't going to work. Listening to a right trade idea has become like talking to another girlfriend or boyfriend, whichever the case may be, because your current partner is getting on your nerves and you're kind of vulnerable to stray. I'm not speaking out of experience. I'm just saying that's something like the emotions you start to entertain, right? Trading BA for a future draft pick does not immediately improve the 49ers roster to get them closer to becoming the NFL's next Super Bowl champs. It does not. It will not. You may pull a bust. You don't have no idea. It's a shot in the dark. It's dangerous. It's risky. I need guys who can get it done now. We need guys who can get it done now. If the Niners were to trade Aiyuk, they would want a player or players in return. Have you heard about this deal? Dealing Aiyuk to the Vegas Raiders for Devonte Adams? You got it. You know what? No matter what you feel about Aiyuk and you're not being loyal, it's just Devonte Adams is a bad motherfucker. This is a win-win proposition. The Raiders would get a younger, ascending player, and Aiyuk would get a contract extension acceptable for being the number one receiver that he believes he is. And he is. But, I mean, our team is not set up for a number one receiver to take all the money because he's not doing all the work anyway. Meanwhile, the Raiders would also rid themselves of a disgruntled player, while the Niners would acquire one of the league's most productive wideout weapons known to the game. Devonte can play outside or in the slot, and Adams would be delighted because of the opportunity to play for a Super Bowl contender. That's all he wants. I saw a clip of him. Are you watching Receiver? Was that Devonte was saying this? Man, I got to get up out of here before I get killed. I was laughing because I already knew about this. I said, Devonte, man, man, I wish we could help you, bro. The money. Niners would be on the hook for $17.5 million this year if they were to acquire Adams. That's $3 more than they have to pay Aiyuk. Davante's current contract with the Raiders runs through 2026, but the final 2 years don't have salary guarantee. The Niners will exchange a 1-year lease on BA for Devonte, right? I put that exchange on the same level with last year's Chase Young edition. I thought we was getting a monster to put on this. Oh my God, we got Chase. What? Get him on the other side. Chase didn't really live up to the expectations we expected, but we found out later there was a neck injury and everything, so he wasn't really Chase. He was all right. And when you think about it, if he's healthy, Chase Young would have been grizzly. But he's gone now. Devonte in here winning the Super Bowl, right? And from a cap management position, signing Aiyuk to a 4-year contract extension makes sense. Of course it does. And actually, I'm going through all this rhetoric for no real reason other than for the entertainment fun of wondering about it and fantasizing, because they're going to sign Aiyuk. Big Show, they're going to sign Aiyuk, Big Show. They are. They're going to sign him, I figure, within the next 10 days, actually. San Francisco could then convert his salary to a signing bonus and free cap space that 49ers could carry into next year to sign Brock Purdy. But the Niners could also do the same if they acquired Devonte Adams, too, because Adams ain't got any guaranteed money on his next 2 contracts, or next 2 years. You see where I'm going here? The Niners would likely need to add a couple of tablespoons of sugar in the deal, of course, for Adams, because the Raiders would be responsible for $23.55 million in prorated signing bonuses. Oh, I honestly get such a rush out of this possibility. I love me some BA, make no doubt about it. But a polished, extremely talented assassin like Adams would make the offense near impossible to stop. There's no two ways about it. You can measure the 49ers for Super Bowl rings right now, man. You signed Devonte Adams, put him on one side, and it doesn't matter who's on the other side. We got plenty of people. Put Debo and Devonte in the same team. I got a bone crusher, and I got an elite wide down anywhere you want to put him, receiver. What a defense is going to do. I got Christian McCaffrey waiting over here. George Kittle standing over here, too. Oh, it's over. No matter, we don't have to worry about the offensive line then. That ball's going to be out so quick, it doesn't matter. To the phones we go. O-line coach Chris Forster says no need to stress out on improving that offensive line with early round draft picks. Put playmakers at the top of your priority list. I can build an offensive lineman for you out of junkyard parts. Fam, are you with that? And how about Devonte for Aiyuk deal? Yeah, you feeling that? I'm overdoing it. I'm getting myself all worked up for what? Aiyuk is going to get signed. Devontae's not coming over here. Ah, man. But, God, it's fun to think about Devonte Freeman. Adams, I mean, hanging on this. Hey, Matty!
Hey, Ronbo.
Matty, I'm dreaming, man, and I'm loving. Yeah, Matty, you probably remember, guys, when you were a kid, you wanted to fix your own car up, right? And
Oh, yeah.
you and your buddies go over to the junkyard and see if there's any parts you can get out of there and get this haul fixed up and ready to roll so you can have that achievement. Say, I did it! Get this puppy running. Yeah. Chris Forster says he can do that for you on the offensive line. Don't worry about it. Go get you some playmakers. Are you with that? And Devonte Adams, put him in the red and gold.
Oh, man. That'd be nice.
Would you jump on that?
I'm not opposed to that. He seems like he's a good dude, too. So I think he'd add to the locker room pretty well.
Yeah. And he'd come in with all the positivity in the world because he doesn't want to be with a non-contender. He's had it with Oakland. I'm sorry, Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should be happy it's Vegas instead of Oakland.
Yeah. No, I mean, they look just as bad in Vegas as they do in Oakland, though. Man, and also the offensive line situation. You know, as Chris Forster, I mean, we did well last year. When's the last time we had a bad year with these ragtag offensive linemen? Do we complain too much about that?
Yes and no. I think a lot of teams struggle with the same problem. So it's not something
Detroit
new.
Versus everybody.
Yep. No, I lost my train of thought.
You were about the offensive lineman, and you were talking about guys. All the other teams have the same issue.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, a lot of people have the same issue, man. Like, I don't know. I feel like we've got a good enough offensive line to, do what we need to do. We obviously have the weapons to make the plays. So, yeah.
Yeah.
We got the right stuff.
And Matty, and as I pointed out, we didn't lose that Super Bowl solely on the play of the offensive line. This is why I had to take a step back on that. Gave me a little pause when people keep crying about how you can't win. Papa Dragon pointed out we're not going anywhere until we fix that offensive line. A lot of people around the league. You got Harbaugh over there. It's the gospel truth for him. He's not going to try to do anything without an offensive line. They don't have Kyle Shanahan running those offensive plays. And bad as we talk about Kyle Shanahan, that dude can come up with some schemes.
Can he, though?
Seriously. Yeah. So is Chris Forster onto something? Is it better to go get that player who gets his hands on the ball and can make things happen?
I'm not opposed to it. I feel like it'd be nice. So we're going to spend a ton of money either way.
Yeah, and I see. Because Brock Purdy, and Brandon Aiyuk doesn't realize it, I think they would have signed him by now if it wasn't for Brock Purdy coming in next year. Because the 49ers have not been hard asses about paying people.
Yeah.
Hell, they pretty much made every guy that we've had signed in the offseason was the highest paid player at a position for a few minutes until the next player got paid. I think Aiyuk would probably, I don't know if he'd surpass JJ, but my God, he'd probably get that 30.
Yeah, probably. I don't know, man. I'm trying to get used to the fact that he's going to be gone.
Aiyuk? Yeah, no, you need to get comfortable with that because you would be very uncomfortable all of a sudden we did trade him and you weren't ready for it. So I am starting to come around to a Big Show way of thinking.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look at it from different angles and different perspectives, the whole Devonte Adams thing, so.
That is so intensely exciting.
There'd be some positives to come out of it. It won't be the worst thing in the world. I mean, we've discussed how many times all the weapons that we have, and the weapons that we've drafted.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I don't mind
may level
overkill.
down a little bit, getting rid of him. I don't know. It depends on who you replace him with. There's so many what ifs right now.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's got to show up to camp, doesn't he?
Aiyuk? Well, see, there's another problem right there.
Yeah.
A skilled player needs to be in camp so they can get timing and rhythm together. He and the quarterback need to start creating that chemistry. Aiyuk is sitting at home playing video games, on his social media saying things that he probably shouldn't be saying. I don't know. It's just a real unfortunate situation. I just hope he's keeping in shape.
Well, didn't Nick Bosa hold out a little bit?
Oh, and look what happened there, right?
See, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And he doesn't even play a skilled position. That's a scary thing. Well, he does. He plays a skilled position, but he doesn't need to know where to cut. He doesn't need to know the playbook to the extent that Aiyuk does. There's so many things that the sexy guys have to learn that the linemen don't. Well, all the linemen have to do is know is kill.
True.
Kill.
Yep.
Kill.
Kill. Get to the quarterback and kill. Yep. Run through walls, kill people, metaphorically.
Yeah, so, I don't know. The 49ers.
That looks good.
Yeah. You're 34 years old. But I need Devonte for 1 year. He can leave after 1 year because we're not paying him in excess of $35 million, which he'd probably be asking for.
No.
But Devonte, now with the Super Bowl on the line and running plays with his experience and moxie, there is nobody in Kansas City, Snead or McDuffie, and one of them's gone already, that's going to cover Devonte Adams. There just ain't. They cannot.
No, not at all. No, they get lucky every now and again, but I would say on a regular basis, absolutely not. Yeah, they'll get cooked.
So we're gonna. We'll see. He may get signed. You know what? He may get signed tomorrow. Yeah. No, it's so weird how the 49ers do these things. So, you know.
Oh, yeah. You can see it at a drop of a hat. Craziest things can happen, man.
Oh, but say I tell you what, fam. I'll be back. I got one more week. I got to get some things done, but I will be back Friday. I can't wait. And maybe, because it's on the verge of time to come to camp, maybe Aiyuk is done. And we no longer keep going over this stuff. Jesus.
Yeah, I'd be excited for that too.
Yeah, I would too. I just want it to stop. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would. And I don't have any hatred for Aiyuk. I'm just saying.
No,
if
not
there's
at all.
Options.
It'd just be nice if it were over with. It'd be nice if we just knew either way. You're going to be a 49er. We're going to pay you what you want. We're going to get done with this. And yeah, it's like, man, let's just move on.
Let's go get busy. Yeah.
Sick of it, bro.
We're the one championship, man. Not arguing.
It does give us something to talk about, though.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Matty,
sorry. I can't be too mad at it, bro.
I know, but God. I'll see you Friday, Matty.
All right, buddy.
All right.
All right, buddy. Plan on it.
All right, fam.
All right,
Always
buddy.
appreciate you, Matty.
Good night, man.
Good night, fam.
You too, buddy.
And there he is. It's double A. Double A. This is what you don't want to hear a girl say.
What is up, Ronbo?
Yes, double A, man. Come on in, man. I'm trying to pick up Devonte Adams and double A. Have we actually really have we been a little rude to our offensive line, who, by the way, have two players. Actually, everybody on our team, our offense is like scoring near 30 points a week. Do we cry too much? Is it justified that some of our rival friends call us the 40 whiners? Are we crying too much about that offensive line?
You know, Ronbo, to be honest, I mean, in my opinion, I think Chris Forster might have a point.
I know.
Because, I mean, it's not like you don't need to draft all first round O-line unless they're excellent. And
Worthy of the left side. Yeah, if you're looking for a left tackle, okay. But Brock isn't getting sacked every week. Wasn't getting sacked every week. Even Jimmy, without his mobility, wasn't getting sacked all day every week. You know, I don't know if, because I probably don't want to keep worrying about that offensive line. But go ahead. What are you thinking?
But yeah, like for example, look at the Chiefs O-line. They're not first rounders. I think their center, Creed Humphrey, is a third round pick.
Yeah. It's normal.
So, you know, it just depends on, you know, what you're looking for in an O-line. And for us, we drafted Aaron Banks in the second round.
Mm-hmm. So, and Aaron's a good player. I defend him because he had a bad toe last year. So, you know, he'll be back this year. He'll look like he did the year before last. And as a matter of fact, offensive line, you know what a better example is of the Super Bowl? The one in 2019. The Chiefs' offensive line was average at best. The referees also helped out that offensive line a lot, but they were average at best against one of the best defensive line and rushing attacks in the game that year. We were good. But if you hold them, that's all you got to teach them. I wish Forrester would teach our guys how to do that. Jimmy Bull, no, he wasn't. Garoppolo was not getting sacked every week. These are the things I'm talking about. You look at the sacks. the 49ers quarterback is always low on the list compared to the rest of the league. So, that's why I say, I don't know, do we expect too much? But go ahead.
Yeah, and also I'm looking forward to hear about Dominic Puny to see how he does in training camp.
I know we're all worried about. We're always wondering about Pooney. Yeah.
Yeah, they say he's, strong, big, and nasty.
And
So,
there's no fat on the dude. The dude is just huge and solid. You don't see that often.
nah. So, yeah, it's and like you said, Jake Brandon needs to gain some weight because he's kind of he's not like not as big.
18 sacks in 2022. 18 sacks out of the whole year. Is that big for you, GB? The thing is, Jake Brindle, I wonder if he can move that fast if he gains weight. By the way, GB, Russell Wilson, 45 plus. Those are big numbers. The over-exaggeration of how many times our quarterback gets sacked is ridiculous. But go ahead, Bam.
Yeah, and and also for Burford, Spencer Burford, and I think they're expecting him to take that lead this year because in his first year he was kind of like rotating with Bronskill. So I think it's just all about being more consistent.
Yeah, that center position is very, with Kyle Shanahan, the center position means you've got to do more than just play football. He needs for you to be an extension of the defensive coordinator out there. So it becomes a little more difficult. So you can't put any idiot at center for Kyle Shanahan, or he's not going to help any. We had a couple down through these few years. Remember that guy that played against the Chiefs? The Chiefs were the Hawks, and the 49ers pulled him and never put him back in again. He had a very interesting name, but man, he wasn't able to do it either. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the best center we had was Alex Mack.
Oh yeah, there's no more Alex Macks in the game. Period. Well, maybe. Kelsey's brother. I'm sorry, Kelsey's brother probably could handle that really well too. But there's not. How many Kelseys and Macks are there?
Yeah. None.
You know what? Before we run out of time, because we're running the clock on, Devonte for Aiyuk. Would you appreciate that? It's hard not to, though.
I mean, to me, Devonte Adams is a really good receiver. So, man, Rob, you got me on that one.
See, I like it, but I feel blasphemous. But if we got that deal, I try to contain myself. If I read 49ers have made a swap with the Vegas Raiders for Devonte Adams. Oh God! And I try to, it would be wrong. We should embrace Brandon Aiyuk. He's just asking for a pay raise. Everybody does it. But Devonte Adams, oh Jesus! I think he was one of the league. I think even last year, he was one of the league leading pass catchers. With as bad a year as the Raiders had, it doesn't matter. He's gonna do his thing. Anyway, man, we got to roll. But I'll see you Friday. All right.
All right, Ronbo. You have a good night.
All right, double A.
Bang, bang, night again.
Yeah. Jimmy, man, I don't care how much you manipulate the math. Jimmy Garoppolo, when he did get sacked, it was more than one time in a game. And it's usually because of coverage. Garoppolo got the ball out. He was in the top 5 of getting the ball out of his hands. Give me a break with that. It's not true. And let's go to the phone. The head of the Dragon Clan is Papa Dragon. Pop! Well, this is Pop's matter here because Pop's going to point out.
I'm gonna get this right. Did you just put words in a rattlesnake's mouth? Did you just say that the Niners aren't going nowhere without an offensive line, despite the fact they had 30 points a game and were 3 points away from winning the Super Bowl? Is that what you just said, Ronbo?
Maybe there was somebody came in and run in there. Did you hear that? I never said that.
It's a witch hunt. It's blasphemous. It's you on the far right and the far left and the far middle making up crap about the great Papa Dragon. What?
Oh, but I might have misquoted you though. Seriously, somebody said that last week. Was that you?
No. I forget what caller it is. I think there is definitely some callers down here like they're blaming stuff on the offensive line. But the fact is, I know that this is a scheme coach. This is a scheme coach who believes that they can scheme up offensive points, although he didn't do it in the Super Bowl. Much like his dad was the same way. They would get running backs in late rounds, and they would get offensive linemen. My main issue is that the 49ers talk too much. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I don't want to know the truth. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, Ronbo.
Oh, I use it all the time.
Don't tell me like it is. Just shut up. As Brock Purdy said, shut the fuck up. Now, if I had 10 more people with Brock Purdy's mentality or Brandon Aiyuk's mentality or Christian McCaffrey's mentality, I'd be pretty happy. I'd be pretty happy with this football team. I really would be. As a matter of fact, I'm decently happy.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just call it. Let's just call it like what it is. It sucks that they lost the Super Bowl. But
expectations have gotten to the point now we cannot accept these things when they fall short like that.
No, I can accept it because I predicted it. But the reason why I predicted it is what irritates me, because people want to say I blame Shanahan. No, I don't blame Shanahan. I'm just saying that the head coach can't be part of the reason why you're losing these games. Because you are going to have fumbles. You are going to have mistakes.
There's going to be mistakes. That's true.
Okay, but you cannot mismanage situations, or you cannot go in there and put up a big donut if you're known as an offensive genius. You just can't do it. You know, the 49ers have routinely had difficulty. Well, most teams have difficulty playing against a 3-4 defense because you don't know where the extra defender's coming from. And if they take away your number one read, you might not have enough time to get to your number two read, and that's what was happening. So if he had adjusted and said, okay, call the guy to the sideline, Debo, you're not the number one read no more. Aiyuk is, because Aiyuk was open big chunk of that game, but he was not the number one read. He's the fourth option, right? Which goes back to me sitting there saying, if your guy's a fourth option, why are you trying to give him $30 million a year? To me, it's logical.
Hey, but Pop, I just want to shed a little light on that as well, though, because the fact of the matter is, I think that Shanahan is so weird in his thinking. He used Aiyuk as a decoy a lot of the time due to the fact that he's that deep receiver everybody recognizes on the 49er roster. If I can put him in position to draw defenders, I'm going to create more room for my second, third, and anybody else receivers out there, right? I'll bet you that's what he thinks. Knowing him like I've learned to know him now, that's him.
This is, in my opinion, this is what he thought. He thought that when he saw that they were going to single up Debo with this little teeny-ass cornerback,
and it worked.
That he thought that Debo would catch the ball and just drag him down the field 50 yards for a touchdown every time. That's what he thought. That's what he honestly thought.
You're right.
Because that's how he thinks. He runs the offense through Debo. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The only difference is that he
And he even said
underestimated
so.
the dog. He underestimated the dog and the little ass cornerback. Because we've seen some dope little cornerbacks in our league. Darrell Green was dope. You know what I'm saying? This little guy just dope.
This goes back.
You know, so
There's
we've
so many
seen
teams
little
with
guys
tiny guys that can play cornerback like I mean really good.
They can be beast, right? So so my thing is, and big shout out to Smooth. I'm dedicating my rant to you tonight.
Hey, Smooth.
Is the only thing stopping the 49ers from winning Super Bowls, the 49ers, Ronbo?
I've said
You
it
gotta
every
stop
year.
on it. You can't blame the refs.
Amen.
You can't blame the refs.
Amen.
You can't blame the offensive line. You know why you can't blame the offensive line? Because you run what you brung. Is that something? That's what got you there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't blame the scheme. If you're not changing your scheme up, if you're not changing your scheme to maximize the weaknesses in the other team, and I know Shanahan typically likes to do that,
Yep.
but a lot of times he will not adjust or he doesn't adjust. He doesn't have a plan B, doesn't have a plan C, doesn't have a plan D.
That really works me too because man, that's why in the second half if we're
You see,
behind,
so-
we can't come from behind. We weren't ready for that.
Right.
We didn't
So-
expect that. How do you not expect that?
That's what I'm saying. So Andy Reid does that. Andy Reid has a plan B, C, D, E, F, G. You know, his tight end will yell at him on the sideline.
And throw him
And
down in the dirt.
Had 90 yards. You see what I'm saying? Only talking that Kelsey did the whole daggone game was to his coach, right? While Kittle is talking to another player while the ball's on the ground.
I know.
You see, in my day, when I played football, if I was gumming and running my mouth and I'm standing next to a ball on the ground, I'm on the bench, Ronbo. I'm done.
Hey, and
I'm not
everybody
helping
on the
the team
team
win.
is giving you crap about it too, if that happens.
I mean,
Coach ain't
you see
even
what
got
I'm
to say
saying?
nothing.
It's like I'm just letting you know, right?
Mhm.
So it's like you need to minimize those mistakes because that's a mistake there. Yes, the fumble's a mistake, but the point that you're not there to recover the fumble or to try to recover it. Like for example, if you take an Aiyuk and put him in that same spot that Kittle was in, chances are Aiyuk would have came up with that ball because Aiyuk is pretty serious to the echo of the whistle.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I agree.
And Kittle is running around trying to say the same damn joke to everybody at the echo of the whistle. So it's I'm just saying that's just one instance, right? You have situations where you have offensive line. So let me tell you right now, the whole offensive line thing, it's all subjective. I got one listing here in the Pro Football Network that ranks the Texans the number 8th best offensive line, and on PFT they rank the same team 23rd, one ahead of the 49ers.
So there's no consistency from one to the other. And I know that because the 49ers were ranked number 10 earlier in the season. Now, somebody had them down to 17. I haven't seen anything below 17 yet, but yeah. Oh, no, somebody had them at the bottom.
It has nothing to do with winning.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with winning. Yeah, PFT had the Niners at 24.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, it matters, but it's like, what are you going to do about it right now? Not to mention, we don't know what they're going to do about it right now because they haven't had camp yet. They haven't. I know this. Even the talk of trading Aiyuk for another receiver and you just drafted one in the first round and you're not a passing football team, to me sounds like gross negligence to your football club.
Well, yeah.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It doesn't. Just like people sitting there, they want to discard Debo like Debo's nothing. He's trash and he's this, he's that. You know, when they went on a 3-game losing streak last year, that's because Debo was out. That's why they went on a 3-game losing streak.
And in combination
when they
with
start
Trent, yeah.
Defense went backer, they lost Talanoa Hufanga.
Oh, and what's going to do
You
about
have
that
to
this
put
year?
things in perspective. Right.
Pop,
right? They go through all that.
I want to jump on that Friday, too. The safety situation and come on. But listen, we're going to go now because you've got just a barrel full of stuff all the time, and it's always fun to listen to and informative. But
well, you know, Ronbo,
production is threatened me twice with a
I try
gun.
to be as objective as possible.
And you do a good job.
And I still believe that the 49ers have everything they need to win a Super Bowl, even with the team that they do have.
Yeah,
but again, It's going to require least mistakes from the coaching staff. It's going to require more trust in the players to make the plays on the field. So for me, it's all about, it's the scheme. It's Kyle. So Kyle is the failure point of this football team. He is the failure point because it's his scheme that doesn't require offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
It's his scheme that uses Debo the way that Debo is being used. It's his scheme that requires him to draft a wide receiver in the first round instead of your next starting center for the next 10 years. That's your scheme, man. So it's all on you. And more power to you. Because maybe if I was in the same situation,
You might do the same thing.
I probably wouldn't. I probably wouldn't.
Absolutely. I love it. I'll see
All
you
right.
Friday. Can't wait to. All right.
Big shout out to you, Ronbo. Big shout out to
Thanks,
production.
man.
Thanks for the platform. Please like and subscribe. And big shout out to Smooth, brother. Hang in there. Praying for you. Hopefully that remission surprises you. I know it surprised
Yes.
my uncle one year, so
Yes.
we'll hope it comes. Hope those prayers are up for you, man, and I hope you get that cancer in remission. All right, Ronbo.
Hey.
We're out.
I will see you Friday, fam. Night Pop. Give my best to Bam Boom, Mr. Dragon, too. All right.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. And then, all right.
Detroit blows everybody.
Well, they've taken a bath or not. And now are you ready for Latino Heat? Latino Heat. Latino Heat. It's Emilio.
Yeah, what's happening, Ronbo?
You, Emilio. Hey, look, man, I'm liking your idea, man. I'll check back. We'll keep communicating on that and get that done.
Yeah, for sure. I hit him up, but he didn't respond. But see what happens. But yeah.
All right.
But anyways, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm thinking that the offensive line is getting way too much hate, and also getting Devonte out of Vegas is appealing to me. I don't know. I feel ashamed of myself, but I just see him on that team.
Hey, don't be that wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be a bad idea, but you also got to think about it. I mean, the offense would have to change a bit, and like I really do believe it might change a little bit this more year because we do need to throw the ball more.
Well, look, Shannon, look what he even got all them wide receivers. He ain't playing. That offense is going to shift. It's going to be 50-50, I figure, at the least.
Well, I could put it like this. There might be some games where he throws the ball more, and in some games he runs the ball
Depends
more.
on what the defense gets. Yeah,
but
he's always like that.
We do, honestly, we do need to throw the ball more. That's something we've actually been missing throughout the whole of these years, and we haven't had a quarterback since, I could actually say since either Kaepernick or Garcia, the ones that able to throw the ball more. Because
and
God
also,
knows,
and also now we got prime time receivers and more than just one. So, and if Ricky turns out to be as expected, they're going to have to throw the ball more. You can't just waste all that talent. So, I agree.
No, like I said, it wouldn't be a bad idea, like I said, but see, we had Jimmy. It was just funny how he was complaining. And I said, it made me think of you for a minute. I was saying, oh, look at this. Dante's complaining about Garoppolo. Well, a lot of stuff we were doing, I was like, man, he's killing our receivers. You and everybody else, he's still winning. I'm like, no, you got a point, but killing our receivers. He didn't got Tito hurt a couple times. You got Debo hurt a couple times.
That's why I defended it. If Jimmy had a receiving room, I have a feeling we'd see it. As soon as what's his name came over from Denver, I noticed immediately how that offensive air attack improved. You know what? That's fine. Nobody's ever going to agree on that, especially me.
I just don't see it. No matter what receiver Jimmy has out there, Jimmy can have the
they
top,
all suck, right?
Top 210 receivers in the league. He's gonna find one way or another to get those dudes hurt. But
you think Jimmy got him
it
hurt?
Is what it is. Hey, he got Tito hurt. Like I said, he got Debo hurt. There was a couple times he almost got McCaffrey killed. So he got a couple other guys killed.
Debo's gonna get hurt regardless as to who the quarterback is now. Come on.
No, he did, but it just sometimes when you throw some of those passes he was throwing, he was like, man, you're gonna kill these guys. He like I said, he got Debo hurt in that a championship against the Rams. So it's just the way Jimmy throws that ball sometimes.
You're in that group
dangerous.
that everything that's wrong with the offense was Jimmy Garoppolo. Listen, let's go ahead. Listen, get Devonte. Is that a deal that appeals to you? Also, the offensive line. Do we complain too much about that offensive line?
No, that's something we need to complain. I said it before. Go back to the Patriots with Tom. I don't know how many times I've done this already. So, but the hundreds of thousands of times. How did Tom Brady win Super Bowls? He had an offensive line. He had mediocre receivers and always find a way to have time to throw that ball. Is it we complain about the line? No, we need an offensive line. Yes, Purdy got those type of stats. He is getting that ball real quick, but we've had a couple. We had a couple incidents where Purdy's gotten lit up, and you're like, damn, they just let him run through. Same thing with the NFC Championship. Instead of doing the assignments, and instead of having Kittle block what he shouldn't be doing, win an offensive line. Because there's too many offensive receivers on this team to just keep using Kittle as a blocker. Kittle should be out there catching passes, not blocking 75% of the game. We're only catching one pass in the game. We don't need that. No. We need Aiyuk. We need Debo. Gosh, I forget the other guy's names. We need Jawan. We need all these guys out there catching the ball. We don't need an extra blocker coming from Kittle. We don't need that. If these other
or another tight end might do. Why does it have to be George? But George is the best at it, unfortunately, and that's that's a problem.
It's the thing. He's our number one tight end. It doesn't matter if we have a number two or not. He's our number one tight end. He should be going out for passes. I get occasionally block, yes, but he should be going out for receiving passes because when he has the ball in his hands, he's dangerous. We've all seen it. Every time he's out open in the middle, what can Kittle do? You can run. You can go in for the end zone. You can't just, like I said, he's a great blocker, but you're just holding him back from what he actually can do and get more points. You can look at it different. Maybe he could have done more in the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter. Same thing with Debo, but it's just you guys can't get open or the line's not holding on for Purdy. It's just a waste of time. We can go back to that one last play for one. I mean, it's just a minor mistake, but you don't know what could happen if Purdy had more chance to split more second and we could have won that Super Bowl. Who knows? It's just that line is just the main core of this thing. One of the things we need.
Yeah, you know what? Every team uses their tight end to block, though. I'm more.
No, I'm not saying they don't.
I'm just saying,
I agree,
but the offensive line needs to be improved, maybe. But I wonder, is there a tight end or such tight end that could actually free George up? Because he used to run two tight end sets when he was in Atlanta. One guy would do that, Joe, and the other guy would be the guy for the ball catcher, right? But we never do that. I mean, we couldn't do it
I'm just saying.
Dwelly.
It wouldn't be bad. It wouldn't be bad if Kittle was out there catching ball, but Kittle's the only tight end we've had, and all these other ones are not that good. It'd be different if the other receivers were able to catch. It wouldn't be no problem Kittle blocking all the time. But
Dwelly,
he's the only one. He's our only and number one receiver. Sometimes we have someone that we get, and then they don't do what Kittle can do. So it just defeats the purpose of when he's blocking and the other receiver, the other tight end goes out there.
True, but also Dwelly could catch. Kyle just doesn't. Some of this is. I have to blame Kyle for these things. Pop's right about that, though. The scheme is designed for what you're seeing most of the time. That's Kyle's idea.
Yeah. I mean, true, either way, but it just, to me, like I said, you're asking if we complain about the line. No, we don't, because it's something we need. Without it, our quarterback is going to get killed. Like the previous year with the championship, we went through 4 quarterbacks. Because that line just
that's got to be a new
wouldn't block. So no, it's just we need a line. No matter how bad this team may suck or how great this team can be, either way, we need an offensive line to protect that quarterback. Because if he doesn't have time to throw, he's not going to be able to do anything. And we can win with mediocre receivers as long as he has time to throw that ball. But he doesn't have time to throw.
But 4,500 yards video. That's.
I'm just saying, he did that, but there's been one too many times that Purdy's been killed. Too many times we're like, damn, is he going to get up? Is he going to get up? Like they just ran through and just blasted him.
Who has the best offensive line in the game?
As of now,
maybe last year, who had the best
Bills
offensive line?
had one, but the Bills had. I don't know. I think maybe it is even with the I don't know, because you could look at Josh Allen, he's running around, and then you look at Lamar.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
same
that.
thing.
Allen
So,
doesn't really want
it's-
an offensive line. They're in his way. So I wonder who.
Oh, yeah, but and then
Look
you
at
look
the
at the Bengals. Oh no, it's kind of actually hard to tell who really has a good line. Because I mean, it's something is.
Let's check that out. I'm going to
just
check that
know-
out and be ready for that next time. I want to know what that quarterback looks like behind the best offensive line in the game. And I want to know what that looks like. A quarterback with lots of protection, a lot like Dak had in his first year, him and Zeke, when they had the best offensive line maybe in NFL history. And they both got rookie and co-rookie of the year honors that year because they were just protected like they could run the ball all day.
No,
Dak
actually,
had 30
you can
minutes
actually
to throw
say
the
that
ball.
was actually, yeah, you can say Dak. Yeah, at that point when Dak and Zeke were at their first, yeah, that was actually one of the best offensive line at that time. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to say because then you can look at the line. You can look at the Lions. Sometimes Jared Goff has time to throw, so it's
the Lions.
it's actually up there. So it's
Jamie.
yeah, no, it's up there, but.
The best.
Like I said, I'm not much too worried about other teams. I'm just saying what we need and one thing we may complain about, it is that line.
Look like.
I mean, I know what you're saying, Charlie. You just wonder who has the best line. No, I get it.
No. I was wondering what we would look like with the best offensive line because I'm making a comparison between the team with the best offensive
Purdy
line
will
in
have
the
a
game.
whole bunch of time to throw. Purdy can just sit there and stand there and wait for somebody to get open. He could just stand there all day. If that was nice. You know,
We'll
and then
find
you
out.
about, okay, well, I can just stand here until somebody gets open. I'm gonna throw the ball. You know, of course, you still got to get rid of it. But I mean, if you can just stand there, hey,
Before we double our time, we better go. But we're going to see in camp. Who knows? We may have a different looking offensive line. I don't know. I ain't waiting for it, but maybe they might be ready. I don't think so, but maybe. Anyway,
see, like I said,
I've been talking to you about that situation we've been working on, and also
we'll keep in touch about that. See what's up.
I'll see you Friday. Otherwise,
all right. Well, you in production, everybody else not there, everybody else in smooth. Got you, man. Keep your head up, man.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
All right, video.
Right.
Have a good night, fam.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Thanks, fam.
All right.
And let's go and check out Anthony.
Ronbo, my man.
Anthony, come on in, man.
Yeah, what's up, Ronbo?
Anthony, you answered my question about the time that I was telling you about. I just recently found out that Jesus Christ was not born on December 25th. I'm trying to find another question like that since you're the man with the answers. That was pretty funny. I wasn't expecting an answer on that. I didn't think anybody else knew either. But you did. You played it really well. But anyway, tonight, talking about that offensive line, I mean, he just pointed out how much better we would be, and we're already a good team. So I would suspect.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think they're getting too much. They're putting too much into that.
As far as the emphasizing the offensive line, yeah.
Yeah. For the simple fact, you get you the one NFC title, then you go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I thought
Yeah,
about. I
that's
said,
what
I don't know. So we play with the offensive line like that hard as we do. I mean, we're beating up everybody else. So that's what I'm talking about.
Ramon, all thing happened during that shoot is just that Burford whiffed on that block. That's the only thing.
Yeah. And mistakes. Little mistakes
Yeah,
other than what's
right,
going on in the
mistakes.
offensive line, They add up. Offensive line maybe not helping any, but you can't have 4 or 5 other people making those key, critical mistakes at exactly the wrong time. That's going to kill you too, no matter how good that offensive line is.
Rambo.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing, Rambo. I want to push back on what he said about you were 100% right when you brought up Emmanuel Sanders. We started throwing that ball.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, Ricky Pearsall going to be our Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah. A quarterback's got to have receivers. That's all there is to it. Jimmy had rookies.
That would hurt us in a Super Bowl. If
Right. rookies and guys
35,
learning.
37, and we couldn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, a player like Ricky Pearsall, he could get that 35, 37. You see what I'm saying?
I absolutely do. I said, remember that year Kyle Shanahan came out and said, I need my receivers to step up. We had Kendrick Bourne.
That's what he's talking about.
We had Debo was a
Debo
rookie.
couldn't get loose.
And we had a couple other guys that have long songs gone since. And we had George. But no, George wasn't there that first year. He was out. So that's why I said, Jimmy got that done with no receivers, and we went to the Super Bowl. That's
right.
Yeah. So, that's why you ain't going to never catch me bashing Jimmy Garoppolo. I ain't going to do it.
As far as them talking about George Kittle blocking,
yeah.
Let me ask you something, Ronbo. What was Delaney Walker doing for us most of the time?
That's right. People didn't know how good he could receive.
Who was catching the ball? Brandon Davis.
Yep. But see, that's what you need. That's what George needs. He needs somebody who could take a little bit off of him and let him go out and be the Vernon Davis of this team. But we can't find anybody else to do it. Dwelly wasn't that guy.
That's right. And if you're asking me, Rambo, I think which kind can be that player.
The guy we just picked up, Logan?
Thomas.
Yeah, Logan. Logan,
Thomas.
yeah.
I think
Logan
he could be that player.
I don't know anything about Logan because I wasn't paying much attention to him when Logan came from Washington. Anyway, somebody said Logan's not all that on blocking, and I said, "Oh man, oh no, George is still going to be out there blocking his ass off." Maybe not. Maybe somebody said that they were wrong. Maybe Logan can block. I hope he can.
I mean, like I said, Delaney Walker, that's what he did. And Brandon Davis went out and caught the pass.
Yeah. And Delaney did a good job. And then when Delaney left, we find out Delaney got underused in San Francisco. Oh my God. Look at him.
When he left, he was balling.
Dan, he was tearing up, wasn't he? God. Wow.
Rambo,
I wanted Walker back
it's
so
funny
bad.
You brought that up. It's funny you brought that up about didn't nobody know the answer to that.
Yeah, I know. 'Cause it's been a lot of us who didn't pay attention through Sunday school and everything else didn't realize.
You ever hear when they say Babylon the Great has fallen?
I've heard that.
Okay, Nimrod built a tower. He tried to build a tower to reach heaven.
Gotta appreciate his ambition.
He didn't succeed.
Some of the things that went on thousands of years ago, I really, man, because we just could have witnessed something.
Rambo, I hate to see people when they click on these Jesus pictures. Rambo,
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I want you to Google it and look at these pictures.
Okay.
You know those pictures where people got a Jesus hanging all up in the air and tattooed on their body.
Yeah.
You know who that is?
No.
That's Alexander the Sixth son. His name is Caesar Borgia. Yeah,
Anthony.
if you put it up, you're going to see that same exact picture of Jesus Christ with so-called Jesus where people got tattooed all over their body, pictures hanging all on that wall. It's the Pope, Alexander the Sixth, the Pope, son, Caesar Borgia. That's exactly who it is.
I would love to have a longer conversation with you one day about some of these things. You know a lot about that, don't you? Are you with the ministry or anything? How do you know? You know a lot of things a lot of people don't take interest in as far as that goes.
Ronbo,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I don't want to spend too much time. You know how they say God works in mysterious ways.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, my grandmother used to say that all the time.
5 years ago, I had a massive stroke, hemorrhage on the brain, which the doctor told my sister and my fiance they didn't think they were gonna be able to save me. But the first name I called on when I made it to the hospital, I said, God, please help me. Because I knew, Rambo, I was dying. And that was my neurosurgeon told me when I woke up out of coma. I said, Doc, man, I was dying. He said, yeah, Ant-Man. He said, yeah, Ant-Man, man, you were sitting over there, you were dying.
But
so I started asking for, if you ask for wisdom and knowledge, he'll give it to you. Huh?
I'm loving it, and this is why I am also a man of faith. I refuse to listen to the atheists who are always telling me and proving things to me. And I say, guys, there's a lot of things that can't be explained. I'm just gonna wait. And you gotta wait till Judgment Day. And in between now and then, I'm gonna go ahead and keep the faith because I don't want to get up there. You're not a believer, are you? Yeah, but listen, I listen, see.
That's what they mean when they say.
I'm not gonna have that.
They mean when they say faith comes by hearing. You know how you hear the faith? You hear it through the preachers, the pastors.
Yeah.
Because in the scriptures, Jesus told you who he was sending to you. He said, I'm going to send you pastors, preachers, and apostles. Those are the ones that spread the word to teach you, to guide you.
The ones that are legitimate. Anthony, we're going to have to stop, though, because we're going too long. But listen, I'm loving it. I'll tell you what, we may have to connect on email or stuff. But listen, let me see you Friday at any rate, all right? Because you got a lot to say about this subject. All right, fam. Have a great night,
take
Anthony.
it easy, Ramo.
You too.
Same
Night, fam.
all right.
It's getting to the point now, every time I talk to him, I may learn something new. Hey, Eric. Eric in Hawkville. Eric. Eric? Eric may be detained. Let's come back to Eric. Hey, Steven. Come on in here, Steven. You're the guy. Blind This is the guy I want to ask. Boy, Steven's guy. I know he's got an answer for this. Steven. Steven Roman Scarlett.
Hey, Rumble, can you come back to me real quick?
Yeah, we can do that. All right. Let's go to, of course, I mean, even if I just do that, you already know where I'm going, right? It's a big show. So you got to be delighted, man. I'm leaning in the show direction all the time. Show he likes alliances. He also likes people that like defy him too. It's either one, But I think he likes defiance more than he does his alliances. Show. Oh no. Show. Big Show. I know Casey because I just saw he's my dog's best friend, huh?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Back. Yeah, hey, Show, I can hear you now. Yeah, come on in, Show. You're pushing buttons in the okay. Come on in, man.
Oh, I thought it was my end. No, but defiances can be quite annoying too. Sometimes I don't really always like them. They're just little piss ants that just annoy me and are already on my S list. So, and I don't really care for, but that's neither here nor there. But as far as your subject matter goes tonight, I am not in favor of Devonte Adams coming to San Francisco because Emmanuel Sanders showed his age in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If he was a little bit faster and a little bit younger, he would have caught up to that pass that Jimmy threw and caught that ball.
Yeah, I was thinking about Marquise Goodwin that day too. Well, yeah.
I was too. And Marquise Goodwin had not been too consistent with us.
He
was always missing games
never got back
due
on
to
the
family
field.
issues and
Yeah. Because he was with us that year.
But we have a younger Marquise Goodwin in Jacob Cowling. He's a little bit better than Marquise Goodwin, I think. And also we have Ricky Pearsall. The 31, Devonte Adams is 31. 31 in the NFL today is the new 61. It truly is, because they start slowing down more. Their bodies have taken a lot of beating over the years, and
and he's already getting worried about that. And with the Vegas Raiders, he wants out of there because he thinks he's going to get killed. That's a good point.
And right now, we don't. I'm glad these two subjects were brought up tonight, because we don't have the offensive line, which intertwines with what Devonte Adams is complaining about. He blames it on the quarterback, but he also has to realize that the offensive line takes part in that too, because the offensive line is the one that gives the quarterback the time to
get that ball out,
throw you the ball, and we don't have the offensive line right now, and we should absolutely be complaining about the offensive line and continue to complain about it, because without the offensive line, then there's no hope of winning a Super Bowl at all. And right now we don't have that offensive line. And you had asked earlier what teams have the best offensive line. That's the Chargers right now, with Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt. The Colts are really decent. The Colts are really a decent team that has has a defensive offensive line.
Was that
and the Chiefs
last season? The Chiefs their offensive line rated high as well, didn't it? See, the Chiefs beat us in the trenches. Who else besides the Chiefs had? Because Patrick Mahomes, as long as he has ample protection, he's going to kill you no matter what, right? Who else had a good offensive line this past season?
The Detroit Lions.
Shout
out to Don Bird. They have a decent offensive line.
They may have had the best
Frank
offensive
Ragnow.
line.
That's Frank Ragnow. I compare to Alex Mack in his prime, or Ragnow, or however you say his last name.
Every time I see his name, I try to pronounce it too. How about Green Bay?
And they have Penei Sewell. No, Green Bay is ever since David Bakhtiari has been injured quite a bit. They have not been the same since he's departed, or if he even is still there.
No, he's available actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't take him at all. No thanks. He's always injury. He's injury prone. And when the Chiefs lost their Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they immediately addressed the issues that they had. They immediately saw the issues that they had in that Super Bowl. That was a left tackle and right tackle. And they tore that thing pretty much down to the studs the following season and revamped that offensive line. They drafted Trey Smith, the Tennessee guard. A lot of people doubted him because he had a heart issue, and he actually turned out to be really, really good for them.
Yep.
They drafted they signed Joe Thuney, and they signed, I think, Orlando Brown Jr. at the time.
Oh, we could have got him too. So I said, why don't we get Orlando Brown?
I know.
He goes to Kansas City.
And we also could have drafted Tristan Wirfs, but that's neither here nor there.
Don't get me started on that.
Which really irritates the hell out of me, because he was more of a need than Javon Kinlaw was. We could have been just fine with defensive tackle rotational depth at the time, but John has a massive crush on defensive linemen for some reason. I don't know why.
Since he first got there.
Two Super Bowl runs, they really didn't help us at all. I mean,
right? And some of
if you don't see that the offensive line, if you don't see the offensive line, that isn't the problem, then clearly you're blind. I don't know how you can come into this off season and tell us and bullshit us, spin your way, that create your own narrative that our offensive line is fine when it's not, and when all of us see that it's not. You see that.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna ask you this,
Chris Jones
is Chris Forster. Does Kyle trust him to the point that he really believes Chris when he says, "Listen, go get yourself a playmaker out there. I can get you an adequate offensive lineman, 4th, 5th, 6th round, 7th round pick. It doesn't matter to me. Just go ahead and get your playmakers early in the draft, and let me worry about the rest. And I'm trying to understand. If I'm Kyle Shanahan, I'm the head coach here. I need to make decisions. Do I listen to this? I mean, what's going on with that?
If I'm Kyle Shannon, my patience is running very thin with Chris Forrester right now. How long has he been our offensive line coach for?
Oh, God, it goes way back, and I didn't even realize that. It really goes way back. Didn't Harbaugh?
And
I think
how long has Chris Forrester been our offensive line coach? How long has he been the 49ers? Our 49ers, the offensive line coach.
I'm telling you right now. I saw some pictures. And I said, wait a minute, Forrester's been with us this long. It was before Shanahan got here.
Really? I don't think so, because he was with Miami. This was a Miami.
Was he?
Chris Forrester was with Miami
the
before.
picture I saw the player with him with, I said, why? That's Forrester. Okay, I could be looking at the wrong shot. I don't know.
But anyways,
he's been with Shanahan for a long time.
If I'm Kyle Shanahan, my patience is running thin with him because our offensive line has not improved ever since he's been hired here. Colton McKivitz has not turned out to be the right tackle that we need him to be. He literally let Chris Jones molest him pretty much the whole entire Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, well I was gonna say because that was on the other side of the line.
And break through. He broke through the wall. There was a zero visibility wall there that Chris Jones was able to break through on the right side, and
all game long. Chris Jones
it prompted Feliciano and McKivitz to get into a little catfight on Twitter after the Super Bowl.
But if you're Feliciano, you're not playing a lot longer. I know. I feel his pain. You know. Could you have not?
I don't feel his pain because he's only here for another year. I mean,
but he was here last year. And I probably figured he would have retired last year if we'd won that Super Bowl or this year.
Sure. I think so too. I think he's on his way out after this year.
He already said so.
That, so he even said so himself. But finally, my last point: if I were to trade Aiyuk, it would be to the Commanders, and it would be during the trade deadline this year. Should Ricky Pearsall take off, which is most likely the best case scenario, he takes off before the trade deadline, and it would make more sense to trade Aiyuk than to the Commanders for Jahan Dotson. I'd rather stay younger at the receiver position. Jahan Dotson is in his 25, 26, and he would be an insurance policy for Brandon Aiyuk's eventual or probable departure before the trade deadline, and he's already proven. So, and he wouldn't command $30 million. He wouldn't command $30 million a year like Aiyuk that is commanding. He's still on his look. And I think he's on an expensive contract right now too. So we can afford him, and that would be the best case scenario for Brandon Aiyuk because he's going to be with his best friend where he really clearly wants to be.
He thinks. What up, good buddies are going to be once he starts watching Jalen biting the dirt all the time. You gonna throw the ball to me or what? Hey man, what you talking about, man? I'm trying to put the ball.
Hey,
man, you better get out of my face.
Let grant him his wish and let him go see if grass is. Grant him his wish and let him go see if the grass is greener on the other side. I mean, he's asking for $30 million. He's not going to get it here. It's easy to say he's going to get signed, but a lot of people don't do the deep dive and look into the financial aspect of it. Like they don't live on a budget themselves. Like this team does live on a budget, believe it or not. And if you overspend on players, all of your blue chip players, then you're going to end up bankrupt and you'll never get anywhere going that route.
Oh,
exactly.
Shell, we gotta go.
So that's kind of my 2 cents, and I will see you Friday.
Looking forward.
The season's coming August the beginning of August is the first preseason game, and the Hall of Fame games to be here before you know it.
About 3 weeks. Wait, 4 weeks.
Yeah,
3 weeks.
It's going to be exciting.
Hey, it's got to be soon because that game against we got a preseason coming up early in August 10th, first week, second week.
Have we ever played in the Hall of Fame game before?
I can't remember it. You know what? I don't care. I like watching that game, even if we're not in it. I just want to see some football, But if we're not in it, I don't want anybody getting hurt.
It's been a long time.
It's all backups anyway, but still.
I watched the UFL this offseason. I had to.
Have you?
Because I couldn't go
All right.
a minute without football. Yeah.
I can't even. I have other things to do, so I don't really think about the UFL. Is it an entertaining show?
It is actually. It really
it?
is. Watching a lot of scrubs that couldn't make the practice squad or be pulled up by the practice squad and win a championship, and it's actually pretty funny and entertaining at the same time.
All right.
I mean, yeah. So anyway, shout out to everyone. Shout out to us. Shout out to shout out to Papa Dragons. Shout out to all the Tonys, and y'all take care and have a great night.
You too,
Stay
Joe.
safe out there.
I'll see you
All
Friday. Night, fam. And let's go check back in on Eric out of Hawksville, USA. Oh, Eric.
Yes, sir. How you doing? Ronbo.
Eric, you're the perfect guy for this subject matter tonight. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing just fine, buddy.
Eric, you know, if there was one team that did not spin, and Pete Carroll goes down on record saying, "Oh, well, we don't worry about our offensive line. We figure Russell Wilson could pretty much handle himself back there behind the assets we do have. We like to pretty much emphasize our defensive line." Remember, Carroll was talking about that, and you guys did emphasize your defensive line, and they were tough. Oh, they were tough, right? But Russell Wilson was laying down a lot. Russell Wilson, back-to-back years of 40-plus sacks. And finally, he said what he said before he was given his walking papers, that he could understand why other teams were protecting their quarterback and the Hawks weren't interested in protecting him. Yeah, what is your feeling on offensive linemen and the fact that it is impertinent to most fans? We all agree. Please protect the quarterback.
Yeah. Now, as for Russell, that's mostly on him, because the thing that Russell did that was not a good idea is he took all the money.
Yep.
I mean, that's where Russell's big mistake is, that he took all the money. I mean, how do you expect to get for them to help you if
you've got all the money? Selfish.
Yeah. You can't do that much.
And you know something, Eric? Russell Wilson was actually playing the most unorthodox, successful football since Fran Tarkington. You know, Wilson would get a snap, and early on, Russie was out of that pocket almost as quickly as the ball was snapped. Now, maybe that may have been due to the fact that he felt he was in danger because the offensive line wasn't going to protect him. You know, when we had Aldon Smith, and on the other side, we had guys that just loved to tackle Russie. You know, you actually had the perfect quarterback for the kind of offensive line you had. I'm looking at Brock Purdy. He's very mobile, but he keeps his eyes downfield the whole time too. So, blame the offensive line, and like Russell Wilson, as you're saying, took all the money. But you guys still spend an exorbitant amount of money on your defensive line, which I can't get mad at. It won you a Super Bowl.
It did.
Which hurts my feelings, because I think if we could have got past you guys that year, we also had a defensive line that was pretty good. And if Peyton Manning hates defensive lines, we could have accommodated him with that as well. That's why I was so hurt. You guys got I knew the Hawks were going to win that Super Bowl. I don't know they're going to win it that easy, but still.
I tell you, I still, to this day, I still remember that game. And honestly, I was nervous because even though, I know how good our defense was, I still knew Peyton Manning's the quarterback. Anything can happen.
Yeah, he is a Hall of Famer. You had to be concerned. But think about it, Eric. You guys had the perfect formula. There was nothing you were going to do in that back end. Peyton, this plays right in the hands of the Hawks. Peyton Manning wants to use his receivers. He wants to manipulate that defense. He doesn't want to hear from the offensive coordinator. He wants to do it himself. That means it was a Legion of Doom versus Peyton Manning. Peyton went out there, and already Richard Sherman had already been legendary for taking away half the field. Manny, you want to challenge that? Bad idea. The other side's not doing as bad either. You got one of the best safeties in the game as well. You guys were the most frightening defense of that time. Oh, man.
Oh, man.
And the frontline defensive rush. Ooh. Damn. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I still remember, like, all of those, like, especially that the NFC title game versus, I think, that I believe was the first one that we got to go to. I mean, that was just probably one of the craziest games ever because, I mean, just us versus you guys.
Yeah. Oh, that was, that got ratings.
That
was being watched. Ooh, yeah. There was nothing but blood left all over the field after those games were over every time that year. And then you guys went to the Super Bowl, and we started our slide the very next year, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's amazing. These are times that those of us are fortunate to be around, to watch those games. That's when football either leaves a scar on your mind or leaves you just with a great taste in your mouth forever, you can lay back on that. Something, Eric, something like the Rams, who are still reliving that Super Bowl they won 3 years ago. What the Rams aren't doing, though, they're not counting the years that are going by. It'll go by quickly, but they're still celebrating that same Super Bowl from 3 years ago. Why? Because they've only won 2 in 70 years. Oh, man, I tell you. So, football is a rough sport. It's unique in its way to draw passion, though. Well, Eric.
Yeah, I tell you.
Go ahead.
What was that, bud?
What else you want to add? Because we're going to run out of time.
Okay. Well, I hope that so it's almost time for the games. You maybe get to see exactly how this totally is.
Yeah. As long as that'll last. Yeah. Eric, we got every team. We have about 4 to 5 weeks before the injuries start piling up. Some teams will start before that, and then by week 10, you're starting to have guys that are just coming back from injury, and it's a game. It is exactly what they say it is. It's survival of the fittest. Attrition is if you can make it 17 weeks with a healthy team, the chances are good you're going to be in the later rounds of the playoffs. Pretty much what it comes into, because there's a lot of teams that are really good that don't make the Super Bowl every year due to the fact they just had too many guys out. It's a sad thing, but it's a luck of the draw.
Yeah.
So we'll find out. All right, Eric. Always fun to talk to you. I'll see you Friday if you got time.
Yes, sir. I'll be here, bud.
All right. Looking forward to it. Night, Eric.
Hey, bud.
Okay, we're you still reliving '94. Yeah, but at least we got 5 of them, Rudy. That's the thing. If you got 5, it's not an embarrassment. We're 1 away from being amongst the echelon of the best of all time. How far are you from being able to say that? See, so there's no comparison between '94 celebrations and 2020 something of only the second one you've had. Period. You're just not on the same level. I know you struggle to be, and you throw your little digs. It's cute, but it's comical. Hey, Steven! Steven, oh. Steven, Rome is working him now. He's got speed now. He's gotten to the age now that Steven's probably running through the house like a cornerback. Trying to cut him off. Steven!
What's up, Ronbo?
Steven! Come on in, man. Because I'm talking about the That offensive line. Now, we've had this discussion ad nauseum. You know, Stephen, we've been talking about the offensive line. I mean, Jesus. What year did we get Mike McGlinchey? We've been talking about the offensive line since, before Shannon Lynch even started, actually.
Yeah, we were talking about it when Alex Boone and what was it?
AD, Alex Boone, the big Polynesian guy.
Joe Staley.
Yeah.
Joe Staley was still on the team. All those guys were still on the team. So we've been talking about the offensive line like almost a decade now.
Well, yeah.
So we were. I mean, that offensive line though was spectacular. I don't know, maybe I'm just relishing the past and hyping it up, but
that offensive really drafted AD. What's his name? The Polynesian that was one of the best road graders in the game. Oh, him and AD. Huh?
You're talking about what's his name?
The center was good. And you had Joe Staley and the Rhino down at the other end. We were tough, man.
But, we were. That offensive line was nasty. Nobody was getting through that easy. And
we could run the ball.
It's crazy because at the time, with that offensive line, we didn't really have a good quarterback. We were just kind of getting by with our defense and our mediocre / quarterback,
Yeah.
Because I think around that time period, we had C.J. Beathard. We also had, what the hell is his name? Brandon Hoyer, who we thought was like the next best thing. So it's like,
no, we didn't know anything about why Shannon brought him over here. Remember, Stephen, we found out he was there to install the program, and that was pretty much his function. And he couldn't even do that. Oh, yeah, thank you, Brandon. Potty. Thank you.
Thank you, you potty. Mike Upati, yeah, because he went to the Seahawks. I remember that specifically. I was like, bro,
I was so hurt. Didn't he end up with St. Louis? I mean, with the Cardinals as well for a minute.
Yes, he did. He turned a bit, but his final spot was the Seahawks. You know what else I found out too? You know why the Seahawks were so damn good, Ronbo? When we were playing them all the time. Because I forgot. Pete Carroll was our DC during the what was it? George
he was on the staff. He wasn't the DC, but he was on the staff.
No, he was a defensive coordinator, if I'm not mistaken, around 94 to 95. I was like, what?
I thought he was part of the program.
I don't remember that.
Maybe.
But, I mean, if anyone's going to have a script on us, it's the guy who probably helped us get a
engineered. Hey, Steven, he took the same concepts and incorporated them with the Hawks, and people went around thinking that was the first. I said, man, that's not the first. You know where Pete Carroll came from and where he got that from? He got that from Seaford. Yeah, that's not his.
You know what's crazy too? Ronbo, is that every time we played the Hawks, I've had this conversation with a lot of my friends that, most of my friends are either New England fans, Saints fans, or Chiefs fans.
Oh, you're lucky. Like, you got no Raider fans in your face? They are the worst.
I do not allow I don't. We bully Raiders. We bully Raiders.
Oh,
fans.
But they can talk major trash.
The thing is that, if you look back at the tape from when the Seahawks were still the Legion of Boom, and you had the 49er era defense that we had around that same time period, I don't even think we had a nickname for us yet for that. But
that's called good football.
We were almost exact copies of each other, like step for step. They had prime Jamal Adams. We had, who was I can't even think of the names right now because it's just we were exact copies. Ronbo. We had Dante Whitner. They had what's his name, Bobby Wag, young Bobby Wag.
And I know Wagner was like a bodybuilder out there, but he was fast. God.
So, you had Bobby Wagner, and then on our side we had Dante Whitner. We had Patrick Willis.
Those are games, weren't they?
Anton. I mean, they were exact. They were basically doing the exact same thing step by step. Same spread, same everything, and it was like, even on offense when we still had Kaepernick, and it was like the big showdown. Who was better, Russ or Cap? Almost the exact same plays were done on us that we were doing to them.
And Cap and Russ had some similarities in their game too. They both had cannons for an arm. They were both going to get out of that pocket if things got crazy. Yeah, so those are games was almost evenly matched up. It was whoever blinked first.
Yeah. It was like they were looking into a mirror, both sides, man. So that's why I'm like, man, that era of football was, I mean, we're never going to see that again. There's no other football team that can say, oh, yeah, we have that same type of thing. No, because it's just, it will never happen again.
No. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Ray Rhodes. Do you remember Ray Rhodes, Stephen? Ray Rhodes was the DC. Yeah. Ray Rhodes was the DC back then. But Pete was there. He was part of the program. But that's all you need to be to learn that what the concepts of that defense.
Or look at Ken Norton Jr. Wasn't he the DC of Seattle too?
I know, right? Ken Norton, I lost all respect for him years ago because when we asked him to be our DC, it kind of pissed me off when he went over to his uncle Pete. You're like, well, the 49ers want me, but I'm gonna go over here with Pete. Why? God.
Like I every day, because I have a Ken Norton poster in my garage, and every day I look at it and I'm like, you could have been a prime 49er. Instead, you fucked us and went over to Seattle.
I know.
And bullied us for years to come, bro.
Really
like, what could have been? I mean, there are a lot of things that we could have had as 49ers, but ultimately, I think our offensive line, jumping back to the topic at hand because we got a little sidetracked like we always do, I think our offensive line here is adequate enough to the point where I'd say I think we're not going to have Brock Purdy run around and scamper like he usually does. He might do it just because, that's what he is. He's always been kind of like a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, he's going to get out where he can see. And I'm glad he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Aaron Banks, solid. He's been one of the draft picks that we picked up on the offensive line that's been solid. I feel like Dominic Cooney might actually do something.
I can't wait to see him in action. Is he a yes? Is he or is he not?
I still stand by my boy Burford. I think Burford
do you really?
Is still
Burford.
I know. But it's I don't know, man. Like I still have some faith in him. If the first not even two preseason games. If the first three preseason games going into the regular season, he just doesn't look good, then I should be like, okay,
you take him off your list
because there's no.
Chris does that to some of the best in the game. So I mean, I got mad just because the same reason Feliciano did. You couldn't just do something at all. I mean, you couldn't do anything. That's funny. I felt Feliciano on that.
Thing when we had, it's like the same thing when we had, what's his name? What's that tight end that was supposed to block Fletcher Cox?
Or you know how you have a bad experience and you forget about names and people and things like that? I don't even remember. I remember the incident. I don't remember. Just like the guy they sent packing after Brock got his arm broke. He whiffed, but
was it Fletcher Cox that destroyed Brock's arm, or was it
No.
Reddick?
It was that edge rusher that's went over. That edge rusher's over at somebody's camp pissing people off. That left the Eagles. No, it was an edge rusher.
That tight end's gone. They said, okay, you cost us our QB, you got to go. Ironically, man, I mean, like I said, I think our offensive line, I think the right guard is still in question because that'll always be probably one of our biggest Achilles heel is the right guard. I don't know who plays there because we've got Trent, we've got Aaron Banks next to Trent.
No, you're left guard. You're talking left guard. Right guard is probably going to be Feliciano this year. I trust him. I don't know how long he's going to stay healthy, but Feliciano was one of the highest rated players of the year.
On the right side?
Feliciano? Yeah, he was Banks is on the left side with Trent.
No, I'm saying like this is how I see the lineup going. Like, Trent Williams on the outside left, interior left would be Aaron Banks, middle would be Feliciano, and then Cooney would probably be that right interior.
Oh, I see. You get rid of Brindle.
Yeah.
Feliciano's got enough experience, maybe.
I don't know, man. It's a tough one. But I think we'll be okay. I mean, with the amount of talent we picked up in the draft, we look better and more retooled than we probably ever have. And I know we say that every season after the draft, but this time it looks like it actually means something, you know? Because when we picked up
Steven, if anything, they got to be embarrassed to look better. But we do have to go. Well, I'll see you Friday, and we'll pick it up. All right.
Oh, tomorrow's Rome's birthday. I forgot to tell you.
Rome. Rome's birthday's tomorrow?
Rome.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God. Let's do that right now, then. Wait a minute. Wait. A little juice. Happy baby. Happy birthday, Big Rome. Happy Niners birthday to Big Rome. Happy birthday. Rome is probably running and hiding, right? Running. What is that noise? Happy birthday, Rome! Steven, that was fun, man. I'm glad you brought that up. We're gonna go. Yeah, I'll see you Friday, okay?
I'll see you Friday, Ronbo.
Looking forward. All right. Give my best to Scott and Mrs. Rome and Mrs. Steven too. All right, fam. And now we roll out toward Nevada, Reno to be exact, and say, hey, Casey. Casey and the Sunshine Band. K-A-C. Casey? All right, we'll come back, Casey. Hey, Brian, let the law ride in.
49ers ready to go. I'm rocking with the Niners till I am dead and cold. Screaming the name of the Niners all the way from the Mid-South because the law still says, know your role and shut your mouth. What it is, Ronbo, y'all kept a brother on a long waiting list around here.
I know. We're gonna try to keep
I was gonna wait a white flag for a bit.
we got to stick to times. I'm sorry. We didn't mean to keep you waiting. But your opinion, Brian, on the offensive line, and we almost routinely have this conversation for the last 10 years, Brian, and we've accomplished a lot of things these last few years, 4 to 5 years. So 4 to 5 years, we're right in the money. And do we really have a right to continue to work that offensive line in a negative fashion, or should we start giving them kudos? Oh, by the way, and a Devonte Adams deal for 1 year as a rental just to get us to that SB and let our youngsters take over the next year. What do you think?
Ooh, well, on the first of all, on the O line, I think it's probably the position that's been overlooked, really.
Well, and
in the Kyle Shanahan regime, I think it's been kind of overlooked. I believe that in the last 2 drafts, I think there were. I don't know what they're looking for. I think they had opportunities to address it. They just didn't. And they settled on what they had in-house. And we know that what they had in-house as far as offensive line ain't really even. It's not evenly measured along with the skill guys. You know, everybody says that we have the best roster, whatever. I said, well, you look at it. If there's an Achilles heel in the organization, on the team, it is the offensive line. Yeah, we got Trent Williams, but you know, I think like for man for man, yeah, I think that if there is a weak link, it would be the offensive line, and not to say that we have to have, headliners, because that wouldn't be realistic.
It'd probably be too expensive.
Drafting and getting with them. Yeah, and that's gonna that's gonna put us in the red. But I think right now, just our skill guys. I think our skill guys on the offensive side are literally carrying the team. That's
Oh,
what's really
no
getting
doubt.
us over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look. I mean,
And,
look. Just go down the list of them guys. It's like the who's who in the NFL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the fact that, Trent Williams, we don't know how long we're going to have him. Maybe a year, maybe next year. We're going to have to start drafting.
At high level.
I would think we would draft.
That's it.
I was thinking, Ronbo, that we would draft his successor in this year's draft.
We all did. I bet you 90% of us did.
But they go get a wide receiver. So I'm like, okay.
Almost fell out the chair. Man.
I'm thinking like, okay,
Ricky
so
Pearsall. Who is that?
Yeah, so we,
so
we reach it. Yeah, and I don't want to hear nothing. And like I said, I didn't want to hear nothing about. Well, we didn't see what we want. I'm thinking like, Kyle, come on, Kyle. I know we drafted late first, going in the second, whatever. But surely there was somebody. That I just know it. They just went. You let them go to other teams.
One question before you go further about that, though. Would you have? And say if you go by the Jimmy Johnson manner of calculations, wouldn't you have thought about trading up in the first round to get that high caliber, best you can find in the draft left tackle?
I would. I think I
really would have considered, because
would.
I don't know how badly I needed a wide receiver, but they seem to think so. And maybe they're also thinking about Brandon Aiyuk, and maybe even as early as then, they knew Brandon Aiyuk was going to be an issue, and that if they had an option, Ricky Pearsall was going to be it. And this is all part of an elaborate plan. And then next year, go after that guy in the draft that they're talking about at tackle. Anyway, I hope I'm wrong on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, surely I thought that would be the case. I'm thinking like, well, hopefully they'll trade up and draft a successor. Then I would figure like, okay, well, maybe you put him on, and get a versatile guy, but maybe you put him on the other side, and then between now and next year, should Trent Williams head to the house, then, then we can put him, then we just slide him over. We'll slide him over in Trent's spot, and then we just fill in whatever. But to address the other issue with Devonte Adams for 1 year, no. I think no. I think we're solid where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
get him.
If Brandon does have his lips all stuck out and sitting on the sideline, I told you all I wasn't playing. I ain't playing until I get paid. Now, if he does do that, you got to depend on Ricky now to carry that load, right? Or what's plan B?
Ooh. Like if we don't get plan B, like if
Aiyuk stays indignant, because he would lose face at this point if he runs back out there after talking the way he's been talking and shows up at training camp, or maybe not even show up at training camp, but shows up a week before time and says, all right, I'm ready, let's go. Now he's going to come in rusty, out of source, bad timing, no chemistry.
Ooh.
That's not good.
I think Ronbo push come to shove, you try to trade him for the deadline. Trade him for the. Isn't there during the season? There's a
mid-season.
There's a period where you can trade mid-season. Trade.
Okay. Maybe they change it now. Yeah.
Call up Washington or whoever. See if they want to make a. See if they still want to make a deal.
See, this is. Brian, we're trying to win a Super Bowl. We don't have time for this. This is why I just wish the 49ers would have been dragging ass on this. You guys have waited till this long. Now, this is a distraction. Yeah. It's people are not focused. Brandon should be out there working with Brock. They should be out somewhere throwing passes. Instead, this is bad. And later next year, if we have problems, we can come right back to this particular time of year when they were assing around with guys trying to get signed. And they do it every year, and I can't. 49ers, please. It was unnecessary last year with Nick, and now with Brandon. We'll never get this
Ronbo,
right.
let me ask you something. Do you anticipate when it's going to be it's going to be Brock Purdy's turn next year to get the bag? Do you anticipate on it being a long,
Fiasco.
dragged out. When they're trying to get his bag, or they're gonna they're gonna
what
jump
they're
on
going to
it.
do. I wonder who the agent is, because I think that has something to do with the negotiations as well. Hopefully Nick Bosa's agent is not Brock Purdy's agent, because you notice how some deals get signed really quickly and some don't. Well, there's been a couple that were signed relatively quickly compared to the last two, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
The 49ers know this is coming, and that's why they're making plans now. That's one of the reasons why Brandon Aiyuk is all pushed out of shape, because the 49ers are thinking about the future and not him. And for that reason, he has a reason to be pissed off. But I'm sorry, Brandon, that's just the way it is. And he's not having it. So, anyway. Brian,
I hope they get it done.
Man.
We'll see.
49 Rob thinks that deal's already worked out. I hope so, Brian. Or Rob. All right, Brian. Let me keep it to what we just talked about, man. Let's go, because it's after midnight. Jay Tan's talking about it out on the East Coast. Jay, I'm sorry, man. Let me see you Friday. All right.
All right, Ronbo. Hopefully they get it done before CeeDee Lamb's deal gets done. But in the meantime, between times, shout out to you, shout out to the faithful, shout out to production. The law is really out.
All right, Brian. Appreciate your patience, fam. Have a good night.
All right, Ronbo. All right.
Hey, Barrel, come on in.
Hey, Rondo, what's up?
Barrel, man, we're sitting here crying about our offensive line like we've been doing forever. And also, we're looking at I mean, the Devonte deal, it only appeals to me tonight. I got to think one more person that likes that. I just want Rennie for 1 year. If Brandon Aiyuk is going to continue to walk around pissing and moaning, and he has a right to, I'm going to say, well, let's put it this way. If Brandon Aiyuk cannot get signed, we don't have time for this. We've got to get busy now and get this ring. So,
Rondo.
I'm listening. Barrel.
Rondo, do you hear me, Rondo?
I can hear you, yeah. Well, I also can hear your speaker in the back. If you could tone that down so you get any feedback. But go ahead.
What they ought to do, man, they ought to start taking less money, man.
They won't do it.
That way, it makes the fans happy too, man.
It really would.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. They need Eddie DeBartolo back in there, man.
Boy, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, that's what things is going good, man.
But there was no cap.
About our conversation. How you been doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting impatient with this situation. That's why every little deal that comes out, I jump at. I'll take that, because I want this to stop. Him and every year, Brandon Aiyuk, last year, Nick, the year before that was a Fred. It goes on and on. Why do we have to go through this every year at the same time?
I'm asking you a question. They should get that taken care of ahead of time, man.
I wish they would.
Instead of this dragging and stuff, man.
They won't.
And I'm going to say a couple more things I know that you have all night. The 40 against Kansas City, man, they held the 49ers, man. We're just a team, man. They hold Bosa every week.
Oh, yeah.
They hold him every week, man.
It's routine.
I can't give credit to Kansas City and like ESPN. How can you say this team is good and they cheat and stuff, man? You can't say that, man.
Holding on every
You can't say that, man. And Garoppolo, he was a good quarterback, too.
I know, Jimmy,
A man had a winning percentage. They don't even know about sports.
The thing is, if you allow people to hold your people, like the Kansas City Chiefs, somehow have the officials in the pocket. Have you noticed that we have to see that same Bill Vinovich? I says, why is he refereeing this game again? I want to can we get the commissioner on the phone, please? I want to ask him that question.
They won 3 Super Bowls. They won 3 Super Bowls, and they never did get kept for holding. That's impossible, man.
Especially 2019. We had one of the best pass rushes in the game. They didn't call one holding call. Not one time they call holding, but...
I know. And they talk about the offensive line. The man passed for 4,000 some yards, man. You got to think
know.
about that too, man.
I did. That's why I said, we need to stop talking about that offensive line. I mean, they're not great, but still, we're getting it done.
You know what we ought to do as a fan? Just start thinking positive, man. Everything will be. We're gonna be all right, man.
I think so.
Be all right.
It's not going to be the offensive line's fault. Put it that way, because we have guys that make mistakes at the exact wrong time. And if I could depend on CMC, I would have. If anybody would have bet me any money, CMC's going to fumble that ball in the first carry, man. But you guys are going to be right against the goal line. Get the hell up out of my face. How much money you want to bet? Make it easy on yourself.
I know.
I would have went nuts and lost all my money.
Now,
God.
Aiyuk is good, but Aiyuk be dropping passes sometimes too. You gotta look at things two different ways, man.
I know. It's not always one guy. It never has been, and it never will be. Yeah.
Hey, man, I'm going to say something. I know we don't have long to talk all night. I'm going to always say this, man. God bless your family, man. And you don't really know me, and I don't know you. I respect you from my heart, man.
Thanks, Bill.
By the grace of Jesus Christ, listen to me. By the grace of Jesus Christ, you're doing a good job, man. Keep up the good work, bro.
Thank you, Beryl. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, man. God bless you, brother. Next time to you.
And Lord bless you as well, fam. I'll see you Friday if you got time, Beryl. Beryl's way out on the East Coast,
I'm going to call you Friday, man.
All right. I'll be looking for you.
God's will. God bless you, brother.
Thanks, Beryl. Good night. He really sounds familiar, too, doesn't he? And Lorenzo!
What's going on, Ronbo?
Lorenzo, man, we doing what we always do. Lorenzo, I look forward to next year. Hey, guys, remember last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, all we could do was complain about we lost another one, and we need an offensive line change, and what in the world is wrong with the head coach? And next year, Lorenzo, can you say, hey, fam, I don't know what we're going to complain about this year. The ring is there. We're tied with the best of the best in the Super Bowl era. We ain't got nobody left now because they paid Brock all the money. But are we worried about that? Hey, listen, Lorenzo, I'm playing. But that may be offensive line be damned. We're going to have some problems next year after Brock gets paid. There's no way around it. But if we have the Super Bowl, will you be okay? Lorenzo? Did Lorenzo pass out on me? Lorenzo! Now I don't hear the background. Lorenzo? Lorenzo? We might have to come back to Lorenzo. Lorenzo. Hey, Michael. I haven't talked to Michael in a long time. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Ron, how's your night going, buddy? How's everything? Not been busy because my daughter just came home from the ER. She was in the hospital for about 5 days.
I saw that in the chat. What happened? Is she okay?
Yeah, what happened? I guess her mother came home and found out on the floor that she wasn't breathing. And right away, I'm like, oh, shit. I already barely one daughter. I already number two.
No.
Yeah, I almost had a heart attack. Yeah, I know. And I'm like, oh, I can't lose her because if I lose her, it's like, you know what I mean?
The devastation would be unreal. Michael, you said she had a heart attack?
Well, they found her on the ground not breathing, or just not moving. I wasn't there. It was in Canada, so I wasn't around it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Wow.
She's okay. Trust me, I probably would have freaked it.
She's okay now.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
But she's resting.
Okay.
She's all right. She just got a rest and all that. Her family has heart problems.
Oh.
Same as ours.
Okay.
She's only 26 years old.
That's what I was going to ask you. I said, your daughter's not old enough to be having a heart attack. I was like, yeah, I was a little confused.
Well, hey, anybody can have a heart attack at any age.
I know.
Everything's
got to be plugged in right. Yeah.
She's diabetes. She has diabetes, and she's got diabetic. And she has a pump.
Man, Nikita, we can't wait to hear from you. Oh, no.
Yes, I worry about you because you eat too much junk. Like, you eat so much sweet, so much soda. Like,
do you really?
You don't look good.
Michael, make some adjustments.
Yeah.
Make some adjustments, Michael.
Yeah, I drink a 2 liter. That's what she worries.
Yeah.
But I said, yeah, no. But no, I've just been sitting there looking up some 49er stuff, and now who said something about what Devonte Adams? But I mean, I'd love to get him for 1 year, but I don't know.
That was me. There's an article being thrown around. There's a lot of trades being thrown around, but that one jumped off the page. I mean, Devonte Adams for 1 year. I looked at the numbers. I said, "Hey, that'll work." And I got Devonte Adams. I'll take him for 1 year.
Bring him to the Jets to be looking at Rodgers on the other side of the field.
Ooh.
That was his always target. Rodgers and him was always good targets together in Green Bay. Remember that?
He might not even play hard that night, huh? I know. Hey, but Michael, Devonte and Aaron, they were not on the best of terms upon exiting each other, I don't think.
And him and Carr, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. They were both college teammates at Fresno State.
I don't know. You don't want to play quarterback in Vegas. How many quarterbacks? Jimmy went in there and was just slaughtered. I don't care what anybody says. Jimmy Garoppolo never looked that bad. And then the next guy came in. He was okay, but they finally ran him off too. You don't want to be a quarterback in Vegas or Raiders.
Vegas is going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time for the Vegas Raiders to find a right quarterback. It's going to take time.
Even if they do, they better get a coach that knows how to handle it, because I don't know, McDaniel sucks as a coach. He set them both up to get.
They should have put the money on. They should have put the money on. They should have done after Harbaugh and put the money on the table for him. They should have took Harbaugh, put the money on it. So then Harbaugh would know which quarterback to get.
But Harbaugh's at Michigan, though. Oh, you mean this year? They kept the same guy they kept last year.
But he's with the Chargers right now. But before that, he could have went to Vegas if they put the right price down.
Yeah, but they like the guy they had. Well, the guy they had last year, the players get along with really well, from what I understand. So they probably didn't want to make that move.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about Nikita. That is really frightening.
I heard two today from I think it was one of the guys on YouTube saying that the Wisconsin quarterback could be the number 2 quarterback for the guy from Wisconsin
next year.
Mm-hmm. He's better than the other 2 quarterbacks. Yep.
Now, wait a minute. Wait, Michael. Deion Sanders says his kid should be going in the first round. I can't.
What it is? Anybody who's a father would always want their son to be a first round. Doesn't matter if LeBron. I mean, Ronbo, if you had a son that was going to play for the NFL, I'd be saying the same thing too.
Fine, a first round pick, no doubt about it. I'm looking at the other guys in the draft, and my kid is just, put shade on him.
If I was a 49ers former quarterback and my son's going to go out there and play quarterback, I'd tell the 49ers, why don't you draft him? Let him sit behind whatever position my son plays.
I want to see what Colorado looks like, period, this year, because they just melted. They won they got the first couple of games, and all of a sudden it just turned to nothingness. Yeah. He's got a lot.
Yeah, they look good, and then they end up turning like mud. No
good. No, Dan Wood got some experienced guys to work with him. They may look different.
A lot of tough competition in college. Remember, divisions change, a lot of tough competition, recruiting, and all that. College stuff's changing a lot.
Hey, what happened to Cal, Stanford, and where are those teams? Are they still? That division was being blown up.
I think they're going to another division. I don't know if it's Big Ten or whatever the division they're going to.
So they did not
dissolve
that, because I thought they were going to dissolve the division.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, divisions change so many times. You can't. That's one thing about college football, Ronbo.
Colorado got 50. Actually, I heard about that. Colorado's got like 50 transfers. Everybody wants to play for Deion now? I can't wait to see what that team looks like.
Wow.
I heard 43,
J10.
Does
anybody have the schedule yet for Colorado? Look at the Colorado schedule. I'd like to see where their first game will be. Look at the schedule.
That's 50. That's a whole team. So whatever you got on your team last year, all of them are gone?
So now you bring 50 more people. Why don't you just bring the whole college over there and let them all play?
Hey, what's the limit?
Players, let them all play for Deion.
What's the limit? They don't have a limit.
No,
they got to have a limit.
No, I think they have to have a limit. You can't have 100 athletes, or you know what I mean?
Well, every time I looked at Chip Kelly's sideline in Oregon, it looked like he had about 100 guys over there, and he needed them for his
whole army to fight the war. Yeah, Kelly had a whole army ready to go, lined up. All the quarterbacks. They got like 5 or 6 quarterbacks
from that hurry up offense. The guys were dying.
I'd like to know who's going to be the number 1 team. I'd like to know who's going to be number 1 for college football this year.
I can't wait. I'm going to try to pay attention this year. because it's college football is getting more and more interesting now that the NC2A is starting to back off a bit.
And I'd like to know when the rankings come for the NFL. Who's going to be number 1 all the way up to 32? I wonder that's going to come out.
Mid-season.
I wonder, you know what I mean?
Well, you get your Heisman. Your Heisman candidate usually shows up in about the 4th week? 4th or 5th week, yeah.
But for the NFL, I can't believe a couple more weeks we'll be seeing our first preseason game. Can't wait.
All right. Oh, yes. So many questions.
You know what that means?
Ricky.
I got to say,
Ricky
Pearsall. My Red
Pearsall.
Sox lost 52.
Mustafa.
Red Sox 4.5 games out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
even my Red Sox, congratulations to the Celtics winning the whole thing. So, I mean, the Red Sox look good, 4.5 games out.
I mean, they just beat Dallas like stepchildren. That was vicious.
But I tell you, when baseball's getting ready to slow down, what's coming up? It's primetime football, 49ers football. Rams, you can have a long season.
Oh, this is All-Star Weekend, isn't it? Baseball. Yeah.
Yep, All-Star Weekend. That's in Texas. They're gonna have it. The All-Star game's in Texas. Hey, that's for Texas boy. Texas boy, why don't you sit there? You'll be the lonely Texan boy.
Listen, Texas boy needs to move his operation to Houston because Dallas. I mean, I can't wait to see what Dallas looks like.
Dallas? How about the running back coming back? Elliott's coming back. He's coming back home with his pop. He looks rusty.
And
they don't have the other running back anymore either. They lost the other running back too. That was good.
Yeah, well,
the Cowboys.
He wasn't that good. Also, you got to figure CD needs his money. Micah needs his money. And Dak is not saying anything, but I'm sure he wants his. So, you know.
Stafford should just learn from each other, throwing interceptions. And then Atlanta's going to look good. I think Tony Rice Atlanta Falcons is going to get in the playoffs, number 1 team in the NFC. They're going to be good, man.
Oh, yeah. They've been putting that team together for how many years? They're ready.
They're my sleeper this year for NFL. They're the sleeper team, I think. You want to watch out, guys.
I think they'll win the division. They'll win the division.
I win the division. I think, they might even play the 49ers in the playoffs. You don't want to.
I know, right?
We could beat Atlanta. We can beat with Atlanta.
Hey, in fact, pick your division winners right now. You know what? Who's going to win the NFC South? I got Atlanta. We both got Atlanta on that one, right?
Atlanta hands down. Atlanta hands down.
Who's going to win the East?
Tony right now. East, I would say.
You got to think about it, don't you?
The Eagles, watch out for maybe Washington. You got to watch out with Washington too. You never know that.
No, you do. You know,
I never said
he's a rookie. There's no CJ. CJ Stroud's come along every once in a while, and I mean very long once in a while. Jalen's gonna.
You got the Lions.
And
the Lions and the Bears. Sleeper if they start the Bears.
Yeah, between Bears, Green Bay, and Lions. That is going to be a fun division. Who's winning it?
That's going to be the best division I can see. In our division, it's going to be tough because we don't know.
In our 49ers division, we're winning this. But the Bears, Detroit, Green Bay.
San Francisco.
No, I'm thinking who's the 4th team in that division? Bears, Green Bay, Detroit.
Vikings.
Oh, yeah.
The Vikings are going to be down anyway. They're going to be in last place.
Yeah. You got to figure Detroit.
And then Atlanta's maybe Tampa Bay and Atlanta, maybe Atlanta, then Tampa Bay at the bottom, maybe.
You mean as far as the divisional playoff ranking?
Yeah. Maybe the Rams will sit home and play Tito Wings. The Rams will sit home and play Tito Wings.
Rams, man.
No, don't play Tito Wings.
They'll be competitive.
They'll join the Stanford Golf Club.
Yeah, if they can play. No, they'll be competitive. Stafford and his wife are having problems, though. That could leak into his performance in a few weeks.
Maybe divorce. Maybe divorce. Maybe there's something that we don't know about.
We'll find out later. If Stafford.
Rudy, you're not in the field with Mr. Stafford's wife, right? You on the side that we don't know, 49er fans?
Michael, we're going to go. All right, I'll see you Friday. And give my best to Nikita. Hopefully soon she'll be back on the jet.
She will. Give a shout out to Tony, 49 and Brian, and you, brother, and talk to you guys on Sunday.
Looking forward to it. Friday.
Friday,
yeah. All right, Tony.
Have a good one, boy.
Mike. Have a good night. And it's 49er Brian time as he takes a break when whipping up on that jet. And Mr. Block Eye says IYO in training camp is our IYO. Is our O line? I could probably figure this out. Is your main look, Mr. Black Ice? IYOEO. No, is that? I got to figure that one out. One thing I love about internet jargon. If you haven't seen something, you can think about it for a few seconds. You get it up. Anyway, hey, Brian, come on in, man. Well, you know what we're talking about tonight.
Hey, Ronbo. Hey, first of all, shout out to Michael and Nikita. I hope Nikita's better. And hey, Smooth, I hope everything's going good with you, brother.
That was surprising.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about everybody not doing well, but my heart goes out to you guys.
Yeah.
So, but Ronbo, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, Mr. Black Ice, in your opinion is what he said. Okay. Hey, Brian, I'm telling you right now, man, doing great. As I say, I'll be fine until September 15th, somewhere between 17th and 15th in the third week. Because I was sitting there, Jesus Christ, man, all we had to do, and we'd be 2-0, right, 3-0 right now. It's just, you know how we get into these emotional explosions, you know?
Yes, they happen always in August, don't they? August, July, summer, whatever.
Well, no, not August. I'm okay. September is what's scary. After we start rolling.
Well, hey, I know you and I have been bitching about that offensive line for like 6-7 years now, right?
Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. Yeah, we just can't get no satisfaction. We're like Mick Jagger. Because the thing is, Harbaugh assembled an offensive line, though. When you had Aiyuk, Potty,
right.
AD, Rhino, we had center position was good.
Alex Boone.
Staley.
Man, that right side hasn't been good since Joe Staley retired, Rombo. Honestly.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, Trent's got the left side and all that good over there, but man, he gets hurt a lot. So yeah. But hey, can I do a little spin job on our offensive line?
Go ahead.
As bad as they are, look at the stats that Brock Purdy put up last year.
And CMC running the hell out of the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if we had just a mediocre O-line this year, which I think we're going to have better than last year, what those guys are going to do? Goodness.
Continuity is everything with an offensive line. A lot of times it's impatience. You don't want to wait long enough. You think that offensive line is going to be just pour and serve. No, they need to chill in the fridge a little bit. So let's see what happens this year.
And Brock Purdy had what? Debo had over 1,000 yards. Kittle had over 1,000 yards. Aiyuk had over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, everybody was up there.
Pretty close. Yeah, I mean, all those guys were catching balls and making plays, and Purdy was getting the ball to them.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, say what you want about our horrible offensive line, but they did a pretty good job for what we did. Don't you think, sir?
Absolutely. That's what I looked at the numbers. I said, we should probably back it up a little bit. And we'll walk back a few conversations we've had about that offensive line because we don't like McKivitz. Okay, that's unanimous. But the rest of those guys are not. They're getting it done when they need to, if nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, we probably got smoked in the Super Bowl. I mean, that didn't look good. But
a couple of times.
And that Ravens game.
Oh, the Ravens game was bad.
But,
the Browns game was bad. Trent got hurt.
Yep. But say what you want. I think the offensive line did really well for as bad as we were, So
as we judged, we were.
Yeah. But, I mean, just think about this year. If Pooney is good, if Brendel gets bigger and puts on some muscle, McKivitz and I don't know, McKivitz and if all those guys just get their shit together and, speak to each other when they're playing and not let Chris Jones fly by them,
I mean, I want to train one guy, if I could, just to be able to handle Chris Jones all season long. Here's Chris Jones.
Right.
We're going to have somebody play the part of Chris Jones. All you're going to do all day is work on Chris Jones, all right? And by the time we get to the Super Bowl, he is not going to take us out.
And Pooney could be that guy, Ronbo. He's a big guy.
You're right.
You know?
Big, strong, athletic.
I'm not honestly. I'm not worried about the offensive line this year. I'm more worried about our interior defense. That's the big one for me.
Well, you need to be concerned about the safety area too. Talanoa may not be ready for week 1. We'll see.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm jazzed about Mustafa. I think he's going to be a good player for us.
We'll see about him in preseason, but we already know what Talanoa can do.
Talanoa, I'm excited to see all that. As far as Devonte, if we can get him for some kind of deal, Ronbo, wouldn't you just jump on that quick?
I mean,
I know
so
Big Show
fast.
was whining about his age, but if we could get him for like a year or two at a good price, come on.
Because this team is about ready to the point where we're going to start looking to rebuild it anyway. Not fully, hopefully, but we're going to need some kids to get in there. And in the meantime, we need to get that Super Bowl done. Devonte, to me, is a go card. We can get right in.
That could be. I mean, think about it. We got CMC last year or the year before, and we get Devonte Adams maybe this year. Those are just trades of the years. They got to be. If those happen.
Yeah.
If that happens with Devonte.
John Lynch would get a whole lot of new love, wouldn't he? Devonte Adams.
And Purdy? What would Purdy do with Devonte Adams?
Oh,
How
man.
sweet would that look?
Oh, man. Oh.
Defenses wouldn't know what to do,
There is
Ronbo.
nothing they can do. That's what I'm talking about. There's nothing they can do, Brad. There's nothing you can do.
Nothing. They'd be screwed because you got Kittle, who's probably not going to be blocking as much this year. You'd have a Devonte Adams, a Jawan Williams, and a Deebo Samuel. Are you kidding me?
Jordan Jennings, yeah.
And Aiyuk can go to the Raiderville and buy, and the owner can buy him all kinds of Lamborghinis over there.
And let him use one of his. Al Davis?
Yeah.
I mean, is his name Al Davis Jr.? What is his name?
Yeah, he's a creepo. Go play with creepo over there.
Build him one of the huge houses.
Cheerleaders pregnant. Yeah, he's
I know.
crazy,
You know what?
Ronbo.
I don't get me started on that because I think Davis might be a little pervert.
Yeah,
I think he just doesn't get caught.
That's fact. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, hey, Brandon Aiyuk, I was behind him, but now I'm starting to get a little tired of his BS. I'm getting tired of BA's BS. So
because it's taking too long.
If there's a guy that wants to be on our team and he's Devonte Adams and he wants to work a deal, I say do it, man. Yeah. Do it.
Go ahead and give him a 2-year deal.
What do you think, Ronbo?
I brought it up in the first one. I got excited.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, Adams, okay.
Now how tall is Devonte? Is he like 6'4", 6'5"?
Yeah, Devonte looks awfully long. I don't know. All I know is he's ridiculously open at all times, and that's not an accident.
Yeah, and he's fast. And hey, if he's here for a year or so what? We got Pearsall coming up. Hopefully he gets better. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me.
Calvin?
As long as we can get him for a reasonable price.
Well, you can restructure his deal. He doesn't have any guaranteed money on this.
Maybe they already got Aiyuk signed.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
And the Raiders got to pay most
either.
of his contract this year, even if we get him. We could get him for like 17, restructure it because he didn't have any guaranteed money on his last 2 years, to the point it'd be smaller than the amount on the hit that Brandon Aiyuk would get if he stayed at 14.
And you're telling me Devonte Adams wouldn't want to be a 49er?
Oh, hell
he
yeah.
Totally would.
He wants out of Vegas really bad anyway. He's been whining over there the whole time.
Oh, yeah. But, man,
Brian,
we can always dream, can't we?
Oh, well,
yep,
I am, too.
Yep. Well, hey, have a good night, everybody. Shout out to Tony Wright and the rest of the crew, and I love all you guys. Have a good night.
And we love you, too, fam. I'll see you Friday. All right.
Okay. Bye-bye.
49er Brian. He's back. He's back. Chat people, Rams, and all you guys that are clowning. Here he comes. He's coming back. All right. All right, Brian, go get him.
All righty.
You Ellis. Ellis. Oh, Ellis. Al. Roman Reigns, college football 25. That's another game, huh? There he is. Ellis, there you are. Oh, that's Tony. Tony!
Ronbo.
Tony, sitting up here dreaming. And again, I came to the defense of Debo the other day. I made it my mission now to call us out on things that we probably should stop crying about. And as I looked at the stats last year with one of our quarterback having one of the best, the best one season average and yards ever in franchise history. Also, CMC was not only tearing it up, he gets Offensive Player of the Year. Maybe we should probably give the offensive line a break. You know? But Tony, and Devonte Adams, would you jump on that? I mean, we'd have to give up Brandon Aiyuk. You wouldn't.
Ronbo, I was just listening to you two guys having a chit chat about him. You said you watched the documentary series, The Receiver.
Yeah.
Are you sure you watched it? You didn't watch it too?
Not every chapter. In fact, I just finished. I'm into 3 right now.
Devonte Adams is the one that got Jimmy Garoppolo benched.
You know,
he said, if you don't bench this dude, I'm walking out of this club, mate. You want a dude like a diva like him in your club?
But the thing is about Devonte is he didn't realize it was part of the program that they have. McDaniels, it got him fired as well. So, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. Devonte, I think, given in the right situation, I don't think he'll act like that with the 49ers. Maybe he
Once
might.
a junkie, always a junkie. You know what I mean, Ronbo?
We can say the same about Chris Forrester. Forrester's over there telling Shanahan, you don't need to get anything but to get the guys to put their hands on the ball in the first 2 or 3 rounds. You know, what chapters of George Kittle and his glorious wife are out there doing s'mores? I just started on it. I've watched the whole thing.
I watched the whole thing in one day.
Oh, a lot of people crash. Oh, yeah, I did watch the whole thing. But yeah, I did see. I was laughing at Devonte though, crying about, man, I got to get up out of here before I get killed.
Well, like they say, you know, once a junkie, always a junkie. Once a bitch, always a bitch. He's going to be that's his personality, Ronbo. You can't change that.
But BA's not getting any better either. Wide receivers are born that way. They're all divas.
BA has been told to shut his mouth and let his agent do the talking.
Well,
who is BA going to talk to? Who's making the decision?
I wish I knew. It's a good question, actually. Does BA communicate with his agent?
Let's wrap our heads around this thing a little bit more mature than we have been lately.
Right.
Brandon Aiyuk, his agent's going to want to get the most money, not just for Brandon, but
for him
himself.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. I think these people are greedy, Ronbo.
Oh, I know.
They'll fight to the last crumb.
Yep.
So a lot of the times the agents, the players thinking, he's looking after my best interest.
Sure.
To a point, but he's also looking after his best interest, which is Monet.
And it is actually priority 1. He just doesn't tell his client that.
Unless he's got someone like Nick Bosa standing over the top of him and saying, "Listen, man, go and sign that contract. Like I'm going to hit you over the head like Bud Spencer."
I know the Bosa family knows how to handle that situation. Well, I think a lot of guys do not. You got to know when to call your dog off.
But our offensive line, I mean, you guys have been saying it. Imagine how they would be if the right-hand side of the... No, it's not imagine how they would be if the right-hand side of the offensive line is good. We'd have 2 rings now.
Tony, okay, but I still think there's some other guys out there that need to stop screwing up. You know, I'll never forgive Ray McCloud for what he did, trying to scoop and run with that ball. That was just stupid. And also, who knew McCaffrey was going to fumble in the Super Bowl?
That wasn't the end of the game, Ronbo.
That's true, but
that was the beginning.
That's 7 points.
We had a lead after that. Let's forget that. Wipe that.
That's
brother.
true.
Wipe it.
But 14 would have been better. I just don't see McCaffrey ever doing that again. But these are the things that happened to us in the Super Bowl. But go ahead.
When you investigate something like a murder or whatever, you go to the last bit that happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same as football.
Yeah.
We had a lead. Forget about what happened in the first quarter, all that shit.
That's true.
We had a lead. What was the reason why we lost? And we're all calculating like the silverback is bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got Trent Williams for a couple 2 years.
Yeah.
Trent Williams is a serious injury away from retirement.
True.
All right? If he does a knee, Ronbo, he's going to retire.
Ooh, that is a fragile situation, isn't it? Now that you point that out, we are sitting here watching that thread hang. If Trent goes down, you're right. We're done.
Right? That's it. And so what preparations have we got done for that?
Absolutely, man. Pony's good, but come on now. Let's not give him too much credit.
Unless, you know what happens with the 49ers, Ronbo? Unless these guys suddenly, after 2 years on the team, they just come out like they rip the cape off and they've got big S's on their backs. Superman. Right? Unless something like that happens and we haven't seen it because we're what I call, we are armchair experts, right? All of us. And unless we haven't seen that, and they have, and we're going to see that at the beginning of the season, well, that's great because we'll all eat our words gladly.
Yes.
All right? But there's a few little things there in that offensive line. Like I said, Trent Williams cops a knee or something. He has to go in for a major operation. That's the end of him. He's going to retire.
And, Tony, he's going to miss a minimum of 2 to 3 games this year, as he has every year since he's been with us. So that's that window we also got to worry about.
Well, if he's going to do that, I would give him a couple of days off against the teams we know we're going to
wipe the floor with. You know what? The NFL never does that. The NBA does it. I don't think baseball does it. But yeah,
or if we're going to the sheds at halftime, and it's like 32-7 or some shit like that.
Trent, I don't care how much you try. I got 4 guys holding him down, and I bet Trent, I'm doing this for your own good, big guy. You're not getting back on that field. I'm sorry. That's it.
Hit the showers early, brother. Take a seat in the stands there and enjoy the game.
Yeah. So it's a real fragile situation. So
we don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, all these guys that we've drafted and they've grasped the system now. They know which way to move, left, right, blah blah blah.
Oh, they know the system right and left, inside and out. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're ready to go. They put on some weight or whatever they need to do, and they're ready to rock and roll. If not, mate, everybody else around us is getting better, Ronbo.
Every year, and some of them are building their teams to beat the 49ers. I know for a fact the Detroit Lions, I'm looking at what they're doing. Also, the Packers, they're going to be back next year because they already said, we just lack one thing, and we're going to fix that. And next time we see the 49ers, they've got a surprise coming. I already know they're talking like that. I mean, a lot of teams are tired of the 49ers.
Even I know these guys are probably nowhere near in the running, but even the Commanders, Ronbo, I want to see what Washington can do with 20 undrafted free agents. 20.
They got that many.
20 undrafted free agents. And if they can make it work, and you know what undrafted free agents are like, Ron, but they've got chips on their shoulder.
Oh, they play with fire, don't they? And look who
if
their
they can
GM
make it
is.
work with that.
Oh, God. So we're going to go. We've been keeping everybody up out in the East Coast up all night. Waiting. So I'm going to let you get into your day. Tony's out in Aussie, and he's got his whole day ahead of him. So, Tommy, I'll be back Friday looking for you, though, okay? Good stuff.
All right, brother. No worries. Shout out to Evan Ellis, Big Show, Papa D, and
Man, that boy had me choked up the other day, Ronbo. Smooth.
Oh man, that really killed me. I didn't see that coming. Smooth, we're thinking about you, man. I'm not stop thinking about you.
God bless you.
Yeah. All right, Tuna. I'll see you Friday. And cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Let's go back and check in on Ellis again. Ellis. This is a pattern with Ellis. If you check in on Ellis about 4 times, it's quiet every time. Ellis is either, the kids got him either tied up, but it was that rodeo style and got him laying out on the front lawn and he can't get loose, or he passed out, or Ellis is single and out dating. Remember he called us from his date one time? You hear the music playing in the background and the tinkle of the glass. Here he is. Well, looks like we're going to bring in Marketing Pro to tell us about how good the Rams are. Marketing Pro, what do you want, man?
Yo, Ronbo, what it do, player?
Marketing Pro, the fact that you're on this phone is already amusing. That you have something you want to share with us again tonight, as you always do.
Well, Pro, as you do know, first of all, shout out to Ronbo Sports. I got my LA Rams Nike shorts on. You know what I mean? This Rams gear is looking fresh. That LA sign is just blinging at nighttime. I'm loving it. You know what I mean? But I just want the Rams Nation would like to thank Ronbo Sports
for what?
For providing a platform for the Rams Nation, because our great owner, the modern day Eddie DeBartolo. You know who our owner is, right?
Well, yeah, I do know who he is, yeah.
Yeah, your platform, you know what I mean? It's like, the Rams are like family with Ronbo Sports and 49er fans. There's always been a great respect between the two fans. I mean, there's never been a fan base in sports that respect each other like we do. You know what I mean? So shout out to the chat, you know what I mean? Marketing Pro got respect for you. I know you got your notes out because whenever, the Dragons, Papa Dragon, you know what I mean? Shout out to Papa Dragon. Shout out to the Big Show, the favorite of that chat. They love Papa Dragon in the chat. You know what I mean? So, and then you got Marketing Pro, a expert in the field of NFL football. So I'm bringing the latest reports to Ronbo. You know what I mean?
Shit. Please, enlighten me.
So, as I mentioned before, the divided locker room of the 49ers is a huge problem and overlooked.
You brought that up the other day. I want to know who's feeding you this kind of information.
It's some some cats from your guys' side. They kind of tip me off some of the reports. I got my sources. You know what I mean? My sources let me know what's going on. And BA is had it up to here with Kyle disrespectful Shanahan. Kyle's big problem is he don't understand talent like the Moses of L.A., Sean the Genius McVay.
The Moses?
McVay never disrespected Cooper Kupp like that. The modern-day Jerry Rice. You know what I'm saying? He never disrespected Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown champ, Super Bowl MVP in the same year. Even Jerry Rice was like, I can feel that.
No. Why you put Cooper Kupp in the same sentence with Jerry Rice? You did? Really?
The similarities are all there. See, according to my analysis, if you look at Cooper Kupp and you look at Jerry Rice, you think they're a clone. They got the same route running ability. They're yak kings. You know what I mean? Cooper Kupp is a yak king, yards after catch. I mean, the NFC title game in 2021, yards after the catch was the X factor. And, of course,
Jerry Rice was not really known for yak. Jerry Rice was known for smoking his defender, but I don't know if he's all that famous for yak.
I got love for Jerry Rice, you know what I mean? I respect Jerry Rice, you know what I mean? Flash 80.
Well,
I would love to have seen Jim Everett throw him a deep ball, you know what I mean? Imagine Jim Everett throwing a deep pass to Jerry Rice. Wouldn't that be something in a parallel universe that actually happened?
When?
See, there's like, parallel universe is real. You know what I mean?
In
Well, to
another
some
universe,
people.
you're wearing Rams gear.
It depends on
You're
what
wearing Rams gear, Ron.
Yeah, it depends on what kind of drugs you're doing. But yeah, I've heard that.
Imagine, I mean, just food for thought. Imagine Jerry Rice in the Rams gear color, wearing number 80.
I cannot.
Catching a touchdown in L.A., the mecca of sports. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. It's just a food for thought, Mark. But back to reality.
Yes, please.
You know, there's problems in the San Francisco locker room, Ronbo, and you're going to call me out maybe by week 3. Because some of the callers I'll be listening in. You know, Mark and Pro know the score from the Big Apple to the Big Orange.
What's the score?
You know,
yeah.
I'm just telling you, the blame game. You know, Mark and Pro, I'll be typing on Twitter, too. You know, I wrote something recently. You know, the blame game was one of my articles. The 49er fans are starting to leak and starting to blame. Because if Kyle doesn't get it done this year, he's going to be like Jesus at the Last Supper.
Listen.
You know what I mean? The 49er fans are going to sell him out. They're going to be like, oh, get Kyle out of here. We want Sean the Genius McVay over here. You know, all that. And Papa Dragon kind of leaking that kind of feelings out already. I've been listening to Papa Dragon. You know what I'm saying? And Papa Dragon be bigging up the Genius McVay.
No, McVay hasn't done. Okay, McVay came in to a prefab situation. The team was already built. All he had to do was add a couple of pieces and do his coaching thing. Granted, his coaching's not bad. But let's not pretend like he came in and built a team and started dominating. He didn't.
Let me tell you something, Ronbo. I was actually cruising by SoFi.
Now that's just the
Rams house, the house McVay built. His statue's ready established. He's like a Julius Caesar in L.A. He has his own statue. Does Kyle have a statue in Santa Clara?
I don't know why McVay has one. What has he done? He's done a Super Bowl, okay.
He's a genius. See, Mark and Pro.
I don't even think Belichick has a statue in New England. I don't know why they gave him a... They,
first of all...
Raise a statue after... I mean, that's just... But, Brian, don't you see how that's embarrassing? You guys haven't accomplished a lot. The minute you do, you'll get carried away with the celebration. A statue? And by the way, wasn't that for college or something? Was that really for the Rams?
Sean the Genius McVay got that aura of greatness.
Okay, we're gonna go.
You know what I'm saying? The owner already know. McVay has got. He brought him the championship. You're at 20.
Okay. Let's check. Hey, yo, Alice. See what you did, Marking Pro? Ellis passed out because he bored him to death. Hey, Tony, ATL.
Production cut that marketing slow off.
Oh, they wanted to. I said, you know what? Give them a few minutes because I don't want them to go in the chat. Well, Ronbo won't talk to any other fans, so we try to be fair.
Oh my God, that was hilarious.
But Market
Ronbo, how are you this week?
Guy's hilarious. I'm doing all right. Wait for the season to get started because until it starts, I'm gonna be in a good mood.
Him up.
I know. Market Pro has no shit.
So the latest is Devonte Adams, huh? This is new to me. I mean, I was hearing you guys in the chat all night.
No, it's just speculation. As I say, you got fans and media, and I got them from the media, coming with all kind of scenarios that would actually alleviate this situation with the 49ers. Because I said, the offensive line, Tony, how many years have you been really happy with your offensive line play with the Falcons?
We built ours like in 2019.
Starting right around then, yeah.
Drafted Lindstrom, who's the best right guard in football, and then we traded back up in the first round and got McGarry. We just been having problems with our left guard for years since Super Bowl 16. We just fixed that just last year with rookie Matthew Bergeron, who we got. He played left tackle at Syracuse. Dallas was trying to get him in the second round. We traded up in the second round in 2023 to get him. So our offensive line problems are fixed now.
See, and that's the way methodically you guys have done it year after year after year. That's what Jerry Jones built, that great offensive line they had. All those first-round picks. How many teams can say they got first-round picks on their offensive line? That's just, you see it on defensive lines on occasion, but offensive line, and they were good.
There's some.
Ooh. Who?
There's also some, Ronbo, that might have 2 or 3 first-round picks, a couple of third or fourth round picks that have became all pros. Like
and there's that happens too. But Jerry,
I think Cleveland has the best offensive line in football with that Joe Patano. He might be a Hall of Famer.
Even better than
left
Detroit.
Guard.
Huh?
I think Detroit's got the second best line in football.
Yeah. So.
And they just got Zeitler, like you and I was talking about in your last show. Well, how the hell did they get Zeitler and nobody else knew about it?
Well, you know what? Detroit's got some excess money, I guess, because that offensive line. Oh, wait a minute. What's his name? He's still on his rookie contract, isn't he? Sewell?
Oh, yeah. Panu Sewell, yeah.
Like
his third, fourth year, yeah.
Yeah. So you know what? This is that period when you can actually save a little money, and if you're clever about what you go about doing, you can build a kill team. I mean, you can special forces unit out there. So Detroit's going to be. We knew Detroit was going to be tough anyway this year. You said, well, we went back and forth with this last year. You had Green Bay. You were absolutely right. I said Detroit. I was painfully right too.
Yes,
scared me to death.
Both right.
Teams, both Detroit and Green Bay, and Green Bay offensive line wise, Green Bay ranks where?
Not as good. I say middle of the pack.
Okay, because we didn't sack Jordan Love.
That players too.
I'm trying to remember how many times we got to Jordan Love in that game. I don't remember any.
Kind of built some cohesion. Rasheed Walker, left tackle, Elgin Jenkins. He's been there a while. Left guard, Josh Myers, center. They lost a couple of guys though, free agency this year.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, Minnesota's got a good offensive line. They got like 3 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks on their offensive line. Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, who's the quarterback over there now? The rookie? Sam.
But he's not going to start.
Sammy Darnold, I forgot. Yeah.
I'm telling you, Sam Darnold's going to play well.
Listen,
they got weapons in Minnesota.
I was trying to tell people last year who was condemning Sam Darnold before we came. Listen, guys, you need to understand. Sam Darnold was in some very bad situations. We don't know, and you cannot conclude that he's just a bad quarterback just yet. When he came to play with us, he played a couple of exhibition games that weren't bad. A lot of people just tore him up. I didn't think it was that bad. For a guy that never played in that system, was trying to get used to it. Sam Darnold gets used to a system, and he's got a good offensive line like you're talking about, Tony. We may find out something about Sam Darnold.
And they got weapons. Jay Hawkinson is tight end. They got that Addison kid.
What's why receiver tore us up last
year?
Yeah, he's one.
Yeah.
Tore us up. I mean, he gave Tavares all he could handle all game long.
Yeah.
Man.
Then you know they got that beast just got paid, Justin Jefferson. So they got players.
That's right. I forgot about JJ. Sam and JJ might be better than people expect too.
Yeah.
Because JJ could he's one of those wide receivers that can make any quarterback look like $1 million. You watch and see. This is why I always say, before condemning a quarterback, make sure you check and see his weapons. Everybody's, the quarterback's going to make the wide receiver. That's bull. No. That wide receiver better know what he's doing. And if he does, now the quarterback's going to get all the glory. But that's only because that receiver's damn good.
I'm going to tell you something else, Ronbo. I mentioned this to you a little bit. Watch out for Seattle, Ronbo. I think Seattle's improved, especially defensively, but I don't know how long it's going to take for that defense to gel. They got Draymond Jones, which they got free agency 2 years ago. The key for them, they re-signed Leonard Williams, which I thought, remember they traded for him late in the year? I thought he was going to get away. They re-signed him, and then they drafted the best defensive tackle in the draft in Byron Murphy.
Watch out for Seattle's.
And that coach is the one who made that defense look so good in Baltimore. So yeah, you can never take. It's just a phobia at this point. I never take the Hawks too much for granted. I like that they're trying to rebuild, and the 49ers are going on the other side of that mountain already as far as rebuild. We've peaked, and watching them come up is fun. I want to be able to step on their face, so at least for another year. Because you're right, they're going to get better.
And they drafted this kid. They drafted this kid, this guard out of UConn. His name is Christian Haynes, 6'3", 318. He's going to be their new starting right guard. Ronbo, he's a beast. He's one of the top guards in the draft. Got him in the third round. Guards don't get drafted that high.
Especially out of
He's going to
UConn.
be starting right next to Abraham Lucas, which was my man crush when he came out 3 years ago. He's healthy now. And then you got Charles Cross, their first-round pick that same year. And then next to Charles Cross at left guard, your old friend, Laken Tomlinson.
So Laken did get another job because people talk about how he was done. Because I was thinking, hey, why don't we get Laken back?
Left guard.
Because he got released. So,
by the Jets. The Jets clean house.
Yeah. I didn't need a left guard. I need. Well, you know what? I don't really need a right guard this year. I like Feliciano. Actually, he was solid.
Mm-hmm.
The right tackle. Yeah. McKivitz. I'm wishful thinking, Tony. I'm hoping McKivitz comes out of a bag, gets out there, and has us saying things. Whoa! Hey, we were wrong about McKivitz. He looks like he's been working on some things. He's looking pretty good out there. I can't wait to be able to. If I could just say that. Oh my God.
And don't forget, you guys drafted Dominic Pooney.
Yeah, Pooney.
He can catch on 6'5", 323. If he can catch on, he can get that right guard spot. But right now,
he will next year.
Y'all have him as backing up to Feliciano.
I got a feeling they're going to platoon him a lot, too. We're going to see Dominic a lot this year, I imagine. Because you don't want to overuse
get him
Feliciano.
some seasoning. Get him in there. We can get a feel. Get him some seasoning. And, let's see what he can do. Because that kid in the Big 12, he gave up no sacks. His senior year, he gave up no sacks.
That's a kid driven to get into the NFL, isn't it? That's what I'm saying. Big kids like that, if you got the ability to play that position, there's money awaiting. You don't need to always play the sexy positions. Get out there and be a good trenchman. You won't be a poor guy. Guarantee you that. So,
and Ronbo, he played against the best defensive tackle in the draft that Seattle drafted, Byron Murphy from Texas. Remember, he got the Big 12.
Really?
Texas, Oklahoma State. So Pooney went up against some great competition. Byron Murphy out of Texas, he went up against him.
And didn't give up Diddley, huh? Okay. We had another guy like that a few years ago.
Ronbo, I got a joke for you.
All right. Does it involve marketing pro?
Bloom. No, he revolves no bloom. Maybe the Rams will cut him. Y'all can pick him up.
For what? We already got a janitor.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. We don't want him. No bloom. What a joke.
That was Rudy's boy. Rudy, that's what I like about Rudy. Rudy comes in yelling and screaming about people. Oh, he was all over Twitter. I mean, he was well, you know what? What's his name, the third? Stetson Bennett could be the biggest steal of the draft. Opening on, right?
But then,
3 weeks later,
they like
preseason game.
So much. Why did they go out and get Carson Wentz last year and Jimmy this year if they like Stetson Bennett so much?
That's why Rudy wouldn't talk about it, man. I kept bringing Stetson Bennett up. He just ignored that subject. I said, because you talk too much. Stetson Bennett ain't all that. You're going to tell me about how awesome he is, about how great, the biggest steal of the draft. Stetson Bennett's on his way out.
And he threw those 3 picks in the preseason game against the Chargers. One of them for a pick 6.
Rudy's feelings were so hurt. Yeah. So I'm enjoying that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Stetson Bennett.
Preseason.
The third. I wonder if the 2 before him were worse than that.
But Ronbo, I heard you and a couple of callers talking about, and I agree with y'all now. Careful, Brandon. What you wish for, you just might get it. Like Show said. You're going to find out, and I'm not against Brandon Aiyuk. I hope y'all sign him. he's gonna find out the grass ain't always as greener on the other side. Yeah, you'll get your money, but you ain't gonna be winning.
And that's got to be uncomfortable at some point. Yeah, Brandon already made it clear that he'd like to stay with the 49ers, but he's not, he's one of those guys, I ain't going to play. I'm not playing for cheap, though. You guys want somebody for cheap, it's not me. Let's go ahead and make this deal. So,
He might not go to where he wants to because Washington got receivers, like I was telling you before.
Right?
They got Jahan Dotson. They got 2 first-round picks at receiver, Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
They ain't going nowhere unless they trade one of them to you guys.
Yeah. I always like to be. I want to trade him to the Panthers. Let him in. What's that big receiver? I actually wanted that guy, that receiver they got over there. The Panthers just drafted.
Oh yeah, he got picked to pick out the y'all's pick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of South Carolina. Yeah, same school as Nebo.
Yeah. That's a monster, man. I saw Ellis was sick that we didn't pick him up and picked up Ricky instead. Ellis has been talking about that kid all before the draft. He was new. If he was available, he ought to be got, and he was available. And we got Ricky Pearsall.
Xavier Legette, 6'3",
Legette,
220. They sound like Julio Jones size.
And isn't he kind of fast?
Yeah, he had. I remember I was reading his stats: 17.6 yards a catch.
That's the second coming to A.J. Brown. Oh. So we'll find out. Well, Tony, I'm going to go and be looking for you on Friday, and just have a great night.
I want to talk to you about that Jet offensive line, how they revamped that. I know y'all played them the first game.
I know.
I've been doing a lot of studying.
I actually don't want to talk about them, Tony, because they're already scaring me. I've been already impressed. They got all my respect. Whew. That Jets team, period.
I don't think Minnesota's going to finish in last in the NFC Central. In North, I do not think Minnesota's going. I think Minnesota's going to get a wild card spot.
Oh yeah,
I really do.
Pick the rank. What's the placement going to be then in that division? Who's taking number one?
Might finish in third in the division. Third. Green Bay and Detroit. They expanded the playoffs and get one of them wild card spots.
Oh yeah.
But Dallas ain't going. The Rams ain't going. They were in the playoffs last year. They ain't going nowhere. I think Seattle will get a wild card. I think Minnesota will get a wild card.
Don't let the Rams struggle this year. I'll be delighted. I mean, no matter what happens, if the Rams struggle this year, I said, well, really, you know how you were laughing and talking trash about that Super Bowl you won here 2-3 seasons ago? The novelty's starting to wear off, isn't it? You guys are heading for the basement again, aren't you? And last year you got away.
And the Cowboys are heading for the basement. Cowboys have peaked. Like me and Therese was.
I can't wait to see what that looks like.
I pissed this boy off. Remember what I said? What's going to happen after this year? Carthy's going to be out. Prescott's going to be out. Deion and his son are going to be in. Welcome to the circle.
I bet you're. Oh, I never thought about that.
Yes, sir.
Jerry loves Deion. All right.
Because Ronbo, Dan Quinn, the defensive coordinator, is gone. They lost Armstrong. 3 of those defensive linemen went to Washington, Ronbo. Armstrong and Fowler, Dante Fowler. Washington lost some players.
Hey, it's a sinking ship. Nobody's going down with that. So we're going to go. Before production throws us off, I'm gonna see you Friday.
Yes, sir.
Just have a great night.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Take care, sir. In Dallas, you're going down. The Rams, you're irrelevant anyway. So what? I'll see you, Ronbo.
See you, Tony.
Night. Take care.
You too. Let's give Ellis a shot. See, maybe we covered. Ellis. Oh, Ellis. Ellis. I think Ellis is toast. All right. So I want to take this moment to make sure Smooth, man, we're thinking about you, man, and I hope you're comfortable, and we just want you to know, man, we're here with you, and if you get a chance, I'd love to hear from you. You need to chat and talk it up. I know you might not be in the mood for that kind of thing, but Alice, Smooth, man, we're thinking about you at all times. So hopefully you rest well tonight. Don't leave me anytime soon, please. All right. And I'll be back Friday, all right? Fam, I tell you what, thanks for coming. I'm going to tell you what, I'll see you Friday. And let's see what else is going on here. Who knows? Maybe that man Aiyuk may finally sign a deal and we can start thinking about the season instead of this madness. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, please. When we get to ready to have fun, we want to make sure you know with that invitation. All right? Hit the like. Don't forget the like. Niners!